That's hilarious.
Hey, appreciate you guys for showing up in the chat. Appreciate everybody for being here. We got a star-studded cast right here. We got Trey and Trent first time in the room together, so that's actually odd. I'm just throwing me off. Throwing me off. But we got the man, the myth, the legend, Luke Kuechly in the building. How you feeling, brother?
I am good, man. It's good to be on here. You guys sound like you guys have a lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to it. You guys make fun of each other. You guys talk a lot of junk, and I'm with that, so it'll be a good time.
For sure, brother. Appreciate it, man. Just to kick things off, bro. I mean, like you said, I think we're just gonna get it out the building. You are one of the best linebackers I've ever seen, bro. One of the best. So to start things off, I want to hear, where do you rank the top 5 linebackers all time? And are you in that category? Because I'm not gonna lie, I do think you're in that category.
And please don't be modest. Please don't be modest. Please don't be modest.
I gotta start. I'm not gonna number them out. I'm gonna kind of go eras a little bit. So you look back in the day, you've got, Dick Butkus. You can't talk about football without Dick Butkus. So I think you start in that era, you got to go Dick Butkus. And then as you start kind of moving forward, one of the guys that I always thought about was Mike Singletary. Mike Singletary was always a physical, good, led that Bears defense back when they were rolling that 85 Bears defense that was super good. Had Singletary as the lead guy. He was always well known for his eyes, man. Pre-snap, that dude saw everything. You kind of continue to move forward. I think you got to talk about Junior Seau, and then you start getting into like the modern day guys, the Ray Lewises, the Brian Urlachers. I think you got to put Derek Brooks in there. So he was more that outside backer in that Tampa defense. But I think you look at it, I think Lambert's in there. I think Butkus is in there. Ray's definitely in there. I'm going to put Derek Brooks in there. And then I think it's hard not to put Brian Urlacher in there. I think that's a pretty strong 5-6 guys right there.
And you was better than about 3 of those guys.
No, man. Hey,
to be honest, listen. Luke, I'm gonna tell you the biggest difference to me.
You're gonna be nice. You're gonna be nice.
No, I'm not being nice. I'm gonna keep it a buck. This is what I think in terms of era. Not only the physicality part of the game that I already think you had down in the run game. I think what makes you better than some of the guys you said was the fact that in coverage is where I thought you shined, and that's what makes you one of the best linebackers to ever do it. Because not only were you a problem in the run game, you were a better cover linebacker than 3 or 4 of the guys that you just said, and that's a flat out reality. I don't think anybody up here would disagree with me when it comes to that part of the game.
You guys got
me. I think, yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we hear you, brother.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, I don't know. He might be lagging because he's driving.
Got me?
He's cutting in. I hear you now, brother. What's up?
Uh-oh. You guys got me?
Yeah.
Do you have us?
I got you now. I got you now. I don't know what happened there.
You driving, so it's probably the internet connection.
Yeah, you're good.
Anyways.
Yes. So the last thing I was just saying was I just think when it comes to like the coverage point of your position, I think you were head and shoulders better than a lot of guys at doing that, especially the ones that you said. So that's to me is why, at least when you pick 5 guys, I feel like if you're not in it, I mean, I think that's you got. I don't know. I got to question your.
Well, you know who 2 of the guys. So the game's kind of changed a little bit over the years, as you guys know. Mm-hmm. I think the guys that were on that list that were real good in coverage were Brian Urlacher was like the first guy at the Mike position that could run the middle of the field. Mm-hmm. He could run big cover 2 drops, run down the pipe, real effective in the pass game. And then at the wheel spot, that's where Derek Brooks came in. He was so rangy in that cover 2 system where he could kind of cover a little bit of everything. And that pick that he had in the Super Bowl was kind of like indicative of what his career was, just picking balls off, affecting the passer. That's why those guys were so daggone good, is because they could play the run, they could get after the passer, and then, like you guys said, they could cover too, and that's what separated a lot of those guys.
Yeah.
So, okay. Wait, I gotta. Not necessarily a question. Well, actually, it might be twofold. It might be a statement and a question. So to pick off what J-Rob's been saying, you're probably, in my head, you're probably the best cover linebacker I've ever seen in my life. I've been watching football my whole life. You're ridiculous. But there's one play that always sticks out to me. that I've always wanted to ask you about. It was against the Cowboys.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
I want to say you probably know what I'm about to ask you. It's the
it was at that cover two drop.
Yes, it's that one against Tony Romo. Do you have eyes in the back of your head? Because I go back and watch that play a million times, and I'm still trying to figure out how did you know to break on the ball at that moment? Like,
well, that was so we called that route Charger. We called it Charger. We ran it all the time in practice, and I've always wanted to pick that ball, that route for whatever reason, and it just never set up to the point where I was able to make a play on that ball until that game. And it's like it finally all just came into focus, and I just got lucky, man. It was like one of those things, perfect call, perfect situation, and then they got to throw it. I mean, there's so many things that go into making that play that you got to make right, and that was one of it. I got the right call, I got the right situation, I got the right route, and I was able to jump in and make a play on that ball.
That's awesome.
Got you, brother. Got you. I want to ask a couple more questions. One, what was your favorite coverage to run in the NFL? Like cover 3?
Oh, two of them. Yeah. So I loved cover 3 when I was a hook player. I didn't like playing curl flat. I like playing the hook because then you're kind of in the mix. And I think if you're a front side hook player, you can kind of get in the mix on a lot of front side routes, obviously. But if you're a backside hook player, that's when you can go steal stuff, because people kind of forget about that backside hook player. So you can kind of cheat front side, pick some over, stuff like that. And then 3rd and long, I love quarters, because I always felt like you got a good matchup on guys that you wanted to play against. So I felt like I loved matching tight ends. I love being able to kind of play, we called it area match. It's just basically you're matching stuff in zones. It's kind of like playing, it's like boxing one, zone defense kind of deal. Like, hey, we're going to pass guys off. We're going to attach to routes. I thought that was super fun. So quarters and cover 3 were my favorite. I didn't like man. I didn't like cover 2 that much. I like quarters and cover 3.
Got you. And last one before I let everyone else ask what they got to say, and then we can get on to some of our topics. But what's good? Say what's up to Flores family. What's good, brother?
What's up, guys?
I don't like the beard. I don't like the fact that you shaved your beard. It's disgusting. I hate it.
Captain America's coming on the show. I got to look like Captain Canada.
Oh, man. That's terrible.
Look like Captain Canada.
That is terrible. But I don't know if you can share this, but share as much as you like. I do want to hear, like, what's some of the wildest play, wildest experience you've been through, wildest leading up to the game? What was one of the wildest stories you've heard in the NFL? Of course, whatever you can share.
Oh, man. I'm trying to... Wildest. So what year would that have been? 2018, first game of the season, we were playing Dallas, and I always rolled to the game with the same guys every game for the majority of my career. So there'd be like 6 of us in a car, because everybody's like families would take the parking passes so they could go park in the lot. So basically we'd all ride together. We were driving to the game, and like 2 or 3 streets got closed on our normal route. So we had to like navigate ourselves through that. And then we got stuck in traffic, and it was like, okay, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, half hour. It's like, dang, we need to get there. Like, we were stuck in traffic. We tried to take some more shortcuts, and one of my buddies had to get out and like stop traffic, got us on the other side of the road, and then like cut in front of a bunch of other people to make sure that we got to the stadium on time. He literally got out of the car, stood there, put his hand up, stopped traffic. We pulled the car and drove around all these people to get back in the right spot and make sure that we hit the stadium on time, because if not, we would have been late to the stadium.
And the coach would have let you have it, huh?
Oh, he would have
Ron Rivera don't play.
My pregame routine would have been messed up, but one of our buddies got out and like he was like a traffic cop, stopped traffic, and we were able to kind of zip in there in time.
Fire. Anybody else have anything to ask before we continue?
I have two, but I need you guys to tell me, or Luke, you could tell me. I have a serious one, and I have one that's a little more fun.
Okay, cool.
Any preference?
Whatever you want.
All right, let's start. I'll start with the fun one because they brought up Coach Rivera. So Coach Rivera shared this story about when they were looking to draft you, and he didn't actually tell anybody he was interested. He wanted to kind of keep it a secret, but you were rooming with Michael Morrissey, who was the son of Jim, who he played with on my 85 Bears, our 85 Bears, I'll say. And when he spoke to Jim's wife, Amy, she told him a story about how Michael's daughter was coming to visit you guys. And she said, oh, well, make sure you introduce Luke to my daughter. And that was the seal of approval that Coach Riviera was like, oh, yeah, if you're going to introduce, if a mother wants her daughter to meet him, you know this is a guy you can trust. So my question is this. One, is that true? Two, do you think coaches and like the NFL people, do they actually look for stuff like that? Because we hear these types of stories a lot. Is that something that as you went through the NFL, you heard people saying, oh, yeah, it's important, those types of things?
Well, I mean, yeah, yes, I did. So Mike Morrissey, he was 3 years older than me at Boston College, and he played linebacker. He was awesome. He was a great older guy. He helped me with everything, school, football, just life in general. He was awesome, and he was my roommate on the road. So Mike and I spent every Saturday together in the fall, and for a couple of years, it was fantastic. So yes to that, and then also yes to your second question, because I mean, you guys know how it is. You want to have good guys on your football team, and I think every team in the NFL definitely looks for that. I think if there's two guys that are everything for them is the same, how they play is the same, their skill level, their size, their height, weight, speed, whatever. If that's all the same, what separates them? And being a good dude always separates you. And you know what? I think if you talk to a lot of coaches, I think they would take a guy that's a good dude, a consistent player, a good teammate, who is just he isn't quite as skilled, but it makes up for it just with the type of dude he is. I think they take that all day.
Okay. So now the more serious one. A lot of us are big fans of Tua, who's gone through some concussions we saw last year. We saw what happened with DeMar. You obviously had some concussions during your career. How do you feel about players coming back? And we got I don't know if you know if they've introduced themselves. We have the CTE boys in this lab.
Bama and J.
Robert, the CTE boys, self-proclaimed. How do you feel about that? Like those guys coming back? Is that something like if you were to give them advice, or is it each individual kind of has to make their own decision, of course? But how do you feel about we're seeing these types of things happen more and more on the field?
I think the game of football is a physical game, so I think you got to take that obviously into account. But I think the NFL has done a really good job of protecting guys from themselves and making sure that there's protocols in place, making sure that the game is safe as it can be. Every year they put new rules in that allow for the game to still be the game that we love, the game that allows us to play physical, have fun, compete. And take plays out that don't need to be in the game. And kind of in reference to Tua and everything else that happened, last year, I think there's so many really smart doctors and people associated with the team that have the players' best interests at heart. I think that, it's a game. It's obviously a huge business, but I think all these teams value the player, they value the person, and they're going to make the best decision that they feel is right for the player. And I think the players have learned a lot over the course of the last 10, 15 years about it. So I think everybody understands that if I want to continue to play this game, I got to take care of myself. And if I want to be a good teammate, I got to take care of myself. So I think all these players really understand that. And I think all these guys also love the game of football. So it's a delicate subject, but I think the NFL has done a really good job of making the game safer. And I think these players are more educated now than ever to make the right decision, not only for them, but their team in general. So I hope Tua is safe this year. I'm glad DeMar's back playing again. It's good to see that stuff. It makes me happy. The guy's been through a lot and just shows his love of the game. And, I love the game of football, and I want guys to have the ability to play it and be as safe and play as long as they want.
Cool. Yeah, we went back and forth with it, so I was curious to kind of get your perspective.
Let me ask you something, bro. Who was the hardest player you had to guard?
Oh, dude, Marshawn Lynch was a monster. Everything about that dude was he's big, he's physical, he runs with an edge and energy, and he's such a fun guy to compete against. And I think that's the biggest thing is competing against a dude like that. You got to bring it every play because that dude is an absolute monster. I love his game. I'm very fortunate to have the opportunity to play against him. And I think he stacks right up there.
Wow. Toughest quarterback to go up against?
You said quarterback. I'm sorry. I thought you said player. Yeah,
no, Trent said player. I'm asking. I'm asking.
I think you know what, man. Like I had the luxury to play against guys like Matt Ryan and Drew Brees every year, and then you look at Peyton and Brady and Aaron Rodgers. I mean, those are the dudes that I think are on a different level. I never really got to play against Mahomes or Josh Allen or any of these new young guys, but those are the dudes to me that were special quarterbacks.
Not Drew Brees.
Oh yeah. Drew and Matt.
He said,
yeah. Those are the first guys. Those guys were obviously the division guys.
Gotcha.
You can't see it, Luke. There's a guy in the chat who's big on Drew Brees.
Hey, you know what? That dude's a first ballot guy. So I mean, you can be as big on him as you want.
I was gonna ask. Do you believe that Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer and needs more recognition as such?
I think you look at Cam, right?
Mm-hmm.
The way he affected the game and changed the game, I think was unique, right? Those big physical runners that dished out punishment. I don't think there wasn't a dude. I mean, you had Michael Vick and McNabb could run around, Randall Cunningham, these athletic quarterbacks, right? And then you get Cam, who's just a whole different beast, like in the red zone, 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, like touchdown. Like we're running load power with Cam, and he's going to run through your face, and he's going to get a first down. I think guys like Cam changed how the game. Look at guys like Josh Allen now. They changed how the game got played, and I think Cam was such a special player. I think he deserves 100% more recognition for the impact on the game that he did.
Facts. I appreciate that. Now I agree 1,000%.
Well, I actually wanted to ask, speaking on that 2015 season, I wanted to know, like, what about that season kind of felt different than I know y'all went to the Super Bowl. I know, it didn't end the way y'all wanted, but just that whole year, I'm talking about the training camp, OTAs, the practices. I want to know, like, what about that season do you feel made it different from the others?
I just think we had a really – so 2012 – so Ron's first year was 11. 2012, we struggled a little bit. 13, we went 12-4, won the division, went to the playoffs. 14, we won our last, 6 games to go to the playoffs, won a playoff game. I think we just started to kind of mature as a team. We picked up some guys in the offseason, and we really just gelled as a team. Kelvin got hurt that training camp, and it was a big deal because it was like that was our number one receiver, blah, blah, blah. And then for whatever reason, man, everyone just kind of stepped up on the offensive side of the ball. Greg kind of turned into our number one, which he, kind of always was the whole time. Greg was obviously a tight end, but he was our number one receiver the whole time. We had Koch that was really good in the slot. Teddy G could take the top off. Stu was running the ball really well. And then, going back to Greg, he was Mr. Reliable. You need a third down, throw it to Greg. You need a drive starter, throw it to Greg. And Cam and Greg had such a good rapport on the offensive side of the ball, man, that we knew we were going to score points, and it helped because we would get up on guys, and then, man, we could just tee off in the pass rush game. We had dudes. KK had a bunch of sacks. We were just dangerous on the defensive side of the ball when we could build leads. So I just think it all came together at the right time. We were matured at the right time. Our best players on our team were our best dudes, Greg and Khalil and Thomas and Chuck and Cam and all those guys. Our best players were our best leaders, and we were very fortunate to have that.
I gotta ask this, bro. What happened to Kelvin, bro? I had so much faith and potential in him, bro. I had so much faith, and it just never happened. Like, what happened? I don't even. My bad. I'm being nasty. I'm maybe being nasty. But I know I'm being nasty. But what happened, bro? I had so much faith in him, bro.
He was a big physical receiver, and then that year he got an ACL, and I think that hurt him a little bit. But I mean, he came back the next year, had a good year. And then I'm not, I'll tell you the truth, not really sure kind of what happened there. It's just, he was a big physical, long, athletic, really good player for us. I think that knee just kind of banged him up a little bit.
I got you. But we could sit here and
I got one more. One more. This is my last one.
Go ahead, bro.
Obviously, you see the market and the way it's going for the running back position. My question to you is actually on the flip side of that. I think because I think this has been a topic for a long time. We've talked about it a lot. But do you think there's a position on the defensive side of the ball that could potentially see a market drop in the same way that we see one with the running back position?
You know what? I think on the defensive side of the ball, right, you always want guys that can affect the pass rusher or the pass. So, I mean, your inside, your D linemen are always going to get paid. You got to be able to cover, so your corners and safeties are going to get paid, or corners are going to get paid. I think the spot that you just got to keep providing value are your guys right down the middle of the defense, your backers and your safeties. And I think with the new rise and how they're using tight ends, I think that the backers and the safeties are always going to have value because somebody's got to go cover those guys.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Got you. So we could transition. Bama, you got one more?
I want to ask him some real shit. Y'all been fanboying it out. You know what I'm saying? Let me just ask him some real shit just because, like I said, I'm not a fan. I'm a fullback. We would have met a few times. I just gotta ask him the real. Luke, you my boy though. No disrespect. You a dog. You everything and some more. But I just gotta ask the real stuff. One question is, hey man, can you tell the people about how was it competing against Mike Tolbert in practice? That was my favorite player. I don't know if
that's a real question.
That's a good ass question though.
That's real.
Competing against that boy.
That's a good ass question actually.
And the second thing I want to ask you, man, I train these junior college boys. I work up at the junior college and I train a lot of the boys, and we got a good team this year. So NFL, all you guys are long shots just based off the numbers, man. So I would want to know, like, what would you tell a young linebacker out there, a young Luke that's on the come up trying to find his way to the NFL? Like, I want to pick your brain, like, in that regard of some of the things you honed in on, some of the things you were sprucing up on to make you a better athlete, get you 1% better each and every day to where it got you to where you was in the NFL, So I just want you to tell my little young linebackers that out there, man, and just really tell the folks about Mike, because I'm all about the folks that don't get a lot of love. I don't know if a lot of young kids know about Mike Tolbert, but that boy used to run that rock, boy. Like he was a really good player. Obviously, his career speaks for itself, but he was a great dude and a great teammate. And I think, a lot of guys, you can always pull somebody's Wikipedia up and see what kind of player they were. Like, that stuff's all great. But I think the thing that really matters is what kind of teammate were you? And Mike checked all those boxes and then some. Like, the dude was the best. Kind of moving to your next question. I think the biggest thing at the linebacker position is you got to be able to move. You got to be able to change direction. You got to be able to guard guys. You got to be able to cover. You got to be able to be explosive. At the same time, you got to be able to take on the run game. And I think that's what makes playing linebacker so fun is, man, you can't just be good at one thing. You got to be good at a lot of things. So I think my biggest thing for backers is have the ability to move. So that's being linear fast. You got to be able to change directions. And you also got to be super explosive so you can slow these big guys down and cover space. So I think that's the big thing. I don't think the size of backers is as big a deal as it used to be. I think it's the ability to move and be explosive. Got you, big dog. I appreciate you.
Fire. What, you got one more, Fluid?
I have a fanboy question. I want to know how many times did coach bring up the 85 Bears? That's all I want to know.
He bring it up, but I don't think he didn't bring it up. He would just kind of, coach loved telling stories, and a lot of his stories had to do with his time at the Bears. So I don't think it was really all the 85 Bears. It was just his time playing in Chicago, his time out in San Diego, his time just coaching the league. So he had so many stories. He was good at telling them, and I loved listening to him because it kind of just it brings you back to how much we had a ton of fun in the locker room, and it was fun to hear how much fun Coach had in his locker room as well.
All right, I'm a huge Bears fan, so I needed to ask because I would have loved to just sit there and listen to him tell those stories. So okay, thank you.
All right. So now let's get into some current football stuff, right? I did a mock draft today for fantasy football, and in my head I was like, dang, bro. I wonder, Luke, do you play fantasy football at all?
No, not really.
Dang. All right, well, just
real football, and then you brought up fantasy football?
No, because it just sends me to my other question where Who are your guys' picks on who's going to have a big season? Who's the guy that we should invest in? I'm loving Fluent. I keep telling you, I'm loving DJ Moore and the Justin Fields combo. I think that's going to be a great combo to have this season. But what you guys picks of who's going to have a breakout year, who's going to be surprising? Jahmyr Gibbs is another one that I'm very high on. But what do you guys got to say about that? That's all y'all.
I'm actually going to go with somebody that I'm going to draft in fantasy this year. I'm probably going to get him in a later round, but just from what I've read around the training camp he's had, and obviously I've been really high on his film. Actually, another Boston College Eagle. I think Zay Flowers is actually going to have a hell of a year going into his rookie year. And if we're talking about a breakout guy, I think a guy to just break out right from the moment he enters the league, I think Zay Flowers in that new offense that they're putting together in Baltimore, I think he's going to have a phenomenal year for fantasy owners.
You know what? I got one, and G-Baby's going to actually love it. Like, he's really actually going to love it. You know, we've been talking about, like, of course, I think everybody knows here has, like, Garrett Wilson breaking out. But for fantasy, I'm not going to lie, Chris Olave really might have a big year for the Saints. Like, even though we don't like Derek Carr, we understand it. We don't I get it. But Chris Olave, I think he can have a real breakout year this year, really break out and really show that he's really like that.
Don't forget about AR-15.
Oh, yeah, that's
Cam 2.0 right there. I'm not gonna hold you.
Hey, what we not gonna do is act like that boy don't have a shot to be just as good as the man that played in Carolina. I've seen them both. I'm just telling you he got a shot. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm just saying he got a shot. But the guy,
I don't even necessarily disagree with you.
I know.
I genuinely don't disagree with you,
baby.
Let's hold on. Let's hold on a little bit.
I get it. You being cautious. I understand. The guy that I'm going with for fantasy, even though I'm not the biggest fantasy guy, the guy that I'm waiting for to have the splash season, quote unquote, is Jahmyr Gibbs.
Talk that talk, George.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Talk that talk.
Jahmyr Gibbs is probably one of the scariest dudes that I've seen on film in a while. And I generally do not understand the way people reacted when he got drafted in the first round and you saw all these people saying, oh, this is a waste of a pick. It's a running back. It's blah, 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 blah. Luke could attest to this more than anybody else could in this room right now. Having a guy who is that fast coming out the backfield, who was able to stretch your defense horizontally and vertically, and you can also hand the ball off and run it, like give it to him, and he is a one-man drive, dog, you don't want to play against that. It's not fun. Like, it might be fun if you're as talented as him, but the guys who got to chase him, who know they ain't got a shot, that ain't fun. And he's playing behind that offensive line. And it's not like they're going to sit there and throw the ball 50 million times. Jared Goff is a decent quarterback, but Dan Campbell wants to run the ball. He's going to get his touches. Like,
yes, Trey.
For a real season.
He's going to go bonkers. I can't wait for it. Is Marshawn Lynch a top 30 running back? From Warnock. This is a super chat from Warnock. Kuechly, do you think Marshawn's top 30?
Oh, 100%. That's not even a question.
Cool. I'm with it.
Yeah, I would say I don't disagree with you.
Quiet over there. The person who would disagree, quiet. Speak up, McNasty.
What you mean? No, we been on this call already. We can all disagree about it. It's fine.
Cooked.
Dang, Trey, you're scared? That's crazy. You're scared right now, bro. He has been on this Marshawn Lynch train for a while now.
It was like 50 backs better than Marshawn. I'm like 50.
Bro, oh no, he didn't say 50. He can't go that far.
It was a good bit.
It was more than 30 though. He got
like more than 30, man. Like, it was up there.
50, bro. I said 30.
All right, what's the next topic, Doug?
I got some super chats I'm gonna read off. What an honor it is to have Kuechly on the show. You, Chris Borland, and Levante David were my favorite linebackers in college around that time. My question to you is, how many hours did you dedicate to watching film per week?
Oh man, you know what? I think it was kind of dependent on the night. So most days was like probably 2, 2 to 3 hours after practice. I mean, we watched a lot of tape right after practice with the coaches, and then we'd have our own film sessions just kind of by ourselves. So I probably watched 2 or 3 hours after practice to make sure that I could get everything in that I wanted to watch.
Fire. Monty Brown with another super chat. This is a legendary interview, and Luke is one of my favorites of all time. Appreciate you, brother. Drink more water. What were some telltale signs the offense would give to you to let you know what play was coming and where it was heading? Who today displays that? Drink more water.
With our game right now, or just what I saw?
What you saw, and he wants an example if somebody replicates that a little bit.
I think a lot of it was just who's, formation, personnel grouping, situations in the game, like all of that plays into it. And then I think the guy that does a really good job of it right now is Fred Warner. I think Fred Warner is super smart. I think he's a really good player on a really good defense. And then, he's kind of one of the newer age guys, Bobby Wagner and Levante, obviously, are guys that have played at a high level for a long time. But I think, the guy that I like watching a lot right now that's kind of in the prime of his career is Fred Warner. And he's a stud. But Bobby and Levante are guys that I came in with together that I have a ton of respect for and have done a great job.
Well, Fred Warner, bro.
Yeah, he's the best in the world right now.
Yo, me and J-Rob talked about this before. He could finish easily top 5, top 10 linebacker of all time.
Easily. I think he has all the tools.
There was a play last year with Fred Warner that I've literally never seen in football before. I forgot who the 49ers were playing, but they motioned the running back out the backfield. Fred Warner goes out there with him, and it looks like man coverage. The play starts, and it's not man coverage, it's cover 2, but they have Fred Warner playing cover 2 corner. It's the crazy. I've never seen that.
I mean, but linebackers are getting athletic. Like, I don't think.
But that's different. It's the same.
I mean, that's what the Cardinals is going to try to do with Justin Simmons this year.
Oh,
you trying to make him a DB? Isaiah Simmons. Yeah, Isaiah Simmons. They're going to turn him into a DB.
Isaiah he's not a linebacker. Like, he's a safety.
Yeah, I agree with that.
He plays slot.
I agree.
He plays safety. He plays corner. He plays all.
No, I agree.
I thought he could be a Will, and no, I was wrong.
I agree. Was there any more? Oh yeah.
Nick Tri-State, Luke, bruh, 24 tackles against the Saints. I still can't get over that. LOL. Do you have a great Steve Smith story by any chance? To me, you two are great Panthers, the greatest Panthers ever.
You know what I'll say about Steve? That dude was one of the strongest, most powerful dudes that I played with. He wasn't the biggest dude, but the guy played with so much edge and energy and passion. He was awesome. Just big, strong hands, could catch everything, was really difficult with the ball in his hands after the catch. He was another guy that just a great teammate and put it out there, man. That dude played so hard. Awesome teammate, man. We were very fortunate to have him in Carolina as long as he was special.
Word.
Steve Smith.
Junk your dog.
Shout out to Smith.
Junk your dog.
So
you on mute, dog.
W muted.
L-Host.
I'll read it. You want me to read it? I'll read it. Julius Irvin. Luke, you're my favorite defensive player. Top 10 all time on defense. Broke my heart to see you retire so early. Much love, bro. Hope you've been healthy. Dub, you good? You good, Dub?
Y'all hear me now? Yeah.
Bet.
Don't worry about it. Floor has a question. Oh, no. Floor, you're crazy. You
don't like that question? I thought it was a good question.
We can ask it after. Okay. Andrew Coleman, one of my favorite linebackers of all time. Love you and Davis together was the best duo in the league. # Captain America. # Panthers fan since 95.
Yep.
Damn.
95.
OG. The OG Panthers.
Wow.
Oh, yeah.
Word. iOS Inc. What up, boys? Luke, do you have a top 5 favorite games you've ever played in, factoring in individual / team performance and magnitude of the game?
Yeah, I mean, we got to play in the Super Bowl. I think that's that was pretty special. Obviously, it didn't go the way he wanted it to, but man, you got to play in a Super Bowl. That was super cool. That was special. I think the playoffs leading up to the game are awesome. The NFC Championship game was great. We played in Carolina. The fans were awesome. The stadium was bumping. Beautiful night. Those two are two of my favorite games. I mean, you got to play in the mecca of football in the Super Bowl, and then we had the NFC Championship game at home in front of all our fans. It was awesome.
Drink more water. Luke, what do you think of the state of college football?
It's exciting, man. I'm kind of interested to see how it all shakes out. I mean, you look at it, all the NIL stuff, the conference realigning is interesting. But, man, you know what? You can say what you want about everything. I still look forward to flipping games on Saturday and watching the games. It's one of my favorite forms of football. The players are still so into it. It's fun to watch. The crowd is into it. Just the support around schools and fans and student sections is still there. I mean, there's a lot that's going to change, I think, over the next couple of years, but just the energy and flipping a game on Saturday afternoon doesn't get a lot better than that.
Got you. What was it like to play for one team for your entire career?
I mean, I really enjoyed it. You know, you got to know the people in the city. You got to know the coaches. You got to know the players. You got to know the people that work at the facility. I think it was just a really unique opportunity for me to have a really awesome career in a great city with great fans and a staff and a community and a franchise that really supported me and made it a lot of fun. I think I was very fortunate.
And hardest running back to tackle, which RB hit the hardest? I'm guessing that's Marshawn, correct?
Oh, 100% Marshawn Lynch. I give him the cake on that every time.
Flo, you got something to say?
I have a question. So, because a couple of us have Carolina having a legit shot at taking the NFC South, J-Rob and myself. Without putting you on the spot, because I know you're still affiliated there, just what would have to go right for Carolina to win the division?
Well, I think the biggest thing is you got to stay healthy, right? I mean, that's the number one thing in the game is keeping guys healthy, keeping guys on the field. And, you know, I think we gotta continue to develop Bryce on the offensive side of the ball. And then, you know, the big thing is who's the guy opposite Brian on the defensive side of the ball that's going to help us with pass rush. You know, you just signed Justin Houston. You'd like Derek Brown to come along and be a force on the inside. He had a really good season last year. I was down at training camp. He looked great so far this training camp. So I think those are some things, you know, you just got to find a second guy that can affect the passer consistently opposite Brian. I think Justin Houston, Yetur has looked really good. Derek Brown, obviously, is a force inside. Got to stay healthy on the offensive side of the ball. And then we just got to get Bryce rolling early. And I think that's a good start for us.
Yeah. There's hope, J-Rob. J-Rob, there's hope.
I'm telling you, I got faith. I don't think that division is too. I don't think that division is too tough as everybody makes it seem. No slight to Derek Carr, but I don't think he's pushing the needle as much as people are making it seem. In my personal opinion, from what I've seen from him as a player, and I think Bryce Young is easily the second best quarterback in the division as of tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So I got more stake in him than I do Desmond Ridder. And, you know, I believe that Panthers defense is really going to be something. And I think a guy like Laviska Shenault, my boy Too Live, a player's choice alumni, is going to have a Deebo Samuel-esque season. And there's going to be a lot of people who are going to have to come around and change their tune about the Carolina Panthers. I really feel that way.
Are y'all ready for Deebo to have another bad year? Are y'all ready for that?
You're wild.
Are y'all ready for that? I've been telling y'all. I've been telling y'all it's a wonder. Are y'all ready for this?
Stop it.
You're sick. You need help.
No, y'all ask me. No. Seriously, question. Like, how much offense, how much ball do y'all think can go around, right? For Ayuk, Kittle, CMC, and even Trey Lance to eat. Like, how much?
Isn't Trey Lance?
How does the quarterback eat? He gets a stat called touchdown passes.
Trey Lance is not the starter. So.
How does Trey Lance eat, bro?
Trey Lance is not starting.
Trey Lance is QB3 right now.
With all due respect to you, Luke, with all due respect to you, Luke, Trey Lance is going to get as many snaps as Luke next year.
Wow, that's so insane.
That's ridiculous.
What you're saying is he's QB3 right now. Like
they're not going to play him at all. They're not going to play him at all.
No,
because Brock Purdy came in ready to go a lot sooner than they thought. So he's QB1 right now.
I'm telling you, they're not going
to battle. Sam Darnold and Trey Lance, and right now, unless it's changed, Trey Lance is QB3.
Hold on, Doug. You said have another bad year. D-Wayne ain't have no bad year. What are you talking about?
Who, last year?
He didn't have a bad year.
Oh man, it was not great. It was not great. What did he do?
Know, bro. I don't know.
That was a bad year.
I don't know,
Hey, you still trying to push a nasty agenda, and I don't.
So 600 yards is a good year? What the hell are we talking about?
Did he not get hurt?
He played
13 games and 600 yards?
You said what?
He played 13 games, 600 yards?
I think you're being a little nasty. Yeah. Luke, can I ask Luke a question?
Are y'all shitting me? 48 yards a game? So this is good? 48 yards a game is good?
All right, man. All right.
Wait. Can I ask Luke the most important question of the day? Luke, what do you think the ceiling of the New York Jets is this season?
Oh, geez.
Oh my God.
They got you look at what they've done on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, you bring Aaron Rodgers in. They've got Garrett Wilson. They brought Lazard in. They've got Breece Hall. They've got C.J. Uzomah. And then they got Aaron Rodgers. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, they look good. On the defensive side of the ball, you got Sauce, and you got Quinnen Williams. You got C.J. Mosley. You got Solomon Thomas. They got a couple young guys they drafted last year. I think they got a shot to make some action in the AFC. That division's tough with, Buffalo and New England and Miami. They're really good. So it's going to be a challenge for all those guys this year to kind of see what they can do.
Yeah. I love how you're talking about the offense. And they have Aaron Rodgers like at the end.
Let me ask you, because we asked Dante Hall on this last time, and J-Rock backs. I'm going to ask you, are wins and quarterback stat? Do you think wins are a quarterback stat?
No.
Damn, Luke. Come on, Luke.
So that's 1 for 1. That's 1 for 1 right now. We're asking everyone this question.
Come on, Luke.
Yeah.
Hey. Come on, Luke, brother.
Why do you believe that?
Brother.
Luke. Come on, Luke. You don't really believe that.
Come on, baby.
Come on, Luke.
So what happens? So you're saying, so if the quarterback throws for 4 touchdowns and they lose, is that his fault?
No.
According to
Let me clarify. Hold on.
Luke, you know this too. You know this too. So the context behind it of why we say it's a winning stat.
We know it's not a fullback stat.
Dang, bro, he's
you know what is a fullback stats? Them running backs yards per carry when I come in the game versus when I'm not in the game.
Right.
You would much rather me not be in the game than me in there because your head gonna be cooking.
That's why only 4 teams have a fullback. I hear you.
I'm just saying, man. Like they touch the ball every play, so they affect almost every play. And then when it boils down to it, are they making the right reads in crunch time? Because we all seen if you have a garbage quarterback, what your team looks like, and we've all seen if a good quarterback comes in, how he affects the game. Everything just seems a lot easier where a team could look bad, and then a good quarterback comes in, they look like a title contender. And then just based off the last thing I said, in crunch time, they affect the game the most because, like I say, they call hike every play. We ain't seen garbage QBs muff snaps on run plays. We've seen it so many times where a bad QB can affect the game in a negative way. So why wouldn't the winning part, especially because I get what you're saying with the 4 touchdowns, but you know, Luke, every game don't call for a big game. It don't call for a 500-yard game. Maybe you got to pass 180 and throw a touchdown in order to win a game. So how well can you weather the storm in order to win the game? Whether that may be throw 1 touchdowns and no picks or throw 5 touchdowns. You see what I'm saying? So that's why we feel like it's more of a winning stat than.
Well, I would say different. I'd say Luke differently for me in the sense that when I'm comparing 2 quarterbacks, I just think that winning has to be part of the conversation. So like when you look at a guy like Phillip Rivers, has all the stats, but if you're comparing him to someone like pick whoever has similar stats, I know Eli Manning, you're going to go with, well, who won, right? That's going to be part of the equation. So that's why I do it. I do it a little different than the one Bama's saying, is that if I'm making that comparison, to be that differentiator, right? And you can put up all the numbers like you said, but if you don't win, what do we look at?
Right.
What in that position? We look at who wins.
And then I'll just to piggyback off Fluent. I'm a lot like Fluent in regard of when you're comparing quarterbacks. I think quarterback is the only position where some of the finite details come just down to winning football games and championships, because when it comes to the yards, the touchdowns, the QBRs, we're splitting hairs at that point when you're talking about the best of the best. But my other point too, when it comes to the quarterback and why I think QB wins matters, it matters to quarterbacks, is because I can give an example from last year with that playoff game with the Jaguars. A game where Trevor Lawrence played horrible in that first half. He threw 4 interceptions. And obviously the outcome of the game ended up being this comeback win. And the reason why I bring that up is to say this. People have propelled Trevor Lawrence, depending on who you speak to, as a top 5 quarterback because of really the outcome of that football game. I think it has completely changed the narrative on what guys think or what, most football thinks about what he is as a quarterback. And if you look at Justin Herbert, because of that same game, people are starting to talk about, well, that's when Acho started calling him the social media quarterback. And some people are just saying that, he's a highlight reel, but he doesn't really win games. And so that becomes the question. I think it also happened to Lamar after his rookie year, which I thought was a little bit unfair. But I just think that's the way I feel like the game is judged for quarterbacks. It's like, are you able to win games or not? And that's why I feel bad for Trey Lance, because he can't go out there and thug it out for 3 or 4 games, because if he stinks and they lose, they're gonna get Brock Purdy. So I think in all regards, like when it comes to winning and losing football games, I think it always matters when it comes to the quarterback in a lot of different aspects.
I think we changed his mind.
Luke, do you have anything to say to that? I'm about to cook y'all because y'all just lying up here.
I didn't lie about anything up here.
I didn't lie about a damn thing.
Yeah, that's what I lied about up here.
Luke, you got anything to say to that?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if he's there, but number one, it doesn't make sense to me how you guys, and probably the most team-oriented sport in history, y'all gonna sit here and use wins and losses as determination.
Why is Eli Manning going to be a Hall of Famer?
It's part of the criteria. It's part of the criteria.
I don't, and that's why I severely disagree with. If a dude is sitting here throwing 3 picks in a game, but then leads a TD drive, I don't care about that last TD drive to win the game. He still had a bad game. He still played bad. The defense did their job to make sure the team didn't go on a crazy run so that they didn't get blown out. So they won that game despite him playing bad. He just had a good TD drive. I don't care about that. I don't care if a guy's winning.
He show up when it mattered.
If he's throwing 3 picks in the game,
why is Eli? If you look at Eli,
So Dub, in that exact same scenario, let me flip it. So a guy throws for 4 touchdowns, and on the last drive of the game, throws a game-losing pick 6. Did he have a good game or a bad game?
He still had a good game because the defense didn't do his job to sit here and keep them at bay.
Cost them the game.
If he scored 4 TDs, that's 28 points. I'm assuming they scored more than that, so they're probably going to score 35.
The defense held him to 22, and then his pick 6 cost him the game. That's a good game.
How did he throw 4 TDs?
He threw 4 TDs, and the last one was an interception, a pick 6 that cost them the game. Was that a good game?
Still a good game, yes. Still a good game.
Okay.
That makes no sense.
Wait, Dub, can I ask you a question? Wait, hold on, G-Baby.
You can have a mistake.
Can I ask you a question? Because I'm gonna tell you what the flaw in your argument. Because the moment you brought up stats, you kind of lost me.
Now I got you.
You brought up the stats of if you throw for 4 picks, but you win the game, you had a bad game. So I'm gonna use Eli Manning as an example, because if you look at his career numbers, they're really not insane. His career numbers are not if you look at the top echelon of quarterbacks. But why is Eli Manning definitely going to Canton, Ohio?
Wait.
Because of the false stigma that you guys have. Because of your ideology.
Because ideology.
Eli Manning is talented. I'll give Trey credit.
He's going to the Hall of Fame for 2 seasons.
Hey, you guys are gonna bicker about this the rest of the night. I feel like, but I gotta get rolling, man. I gotta go home. I gotta get ready for youth. I gotta get ready for youth football practice tomorrow. So I'm gonna let you guys go.
All right, fellas.
Appreciate you, brother. One more. Can I ask you one more thing? It's a super chat from somebody. They had a good question for you. Got you, brother. Even though I'm a Falcons fan, I'm still a huge fan of yours, but I got to know who's better, Julio or AB around the mid-2010s.
I didn't get a chance to play against AB that much, so I'm going to go Julio because we saw him twice a year.
Got you, brother. Great answer, bro. Hey, you be easy. Salute to you, man.
Thank you, Luke.
Okay.
All right, let's get into something else. Though. I don't want to talk about this.
No, because you guys are liars. You guys are just liars.
We talk about this all the time, bro. Come on, we talk about this all the time, bro. This is something we're never going to agree on.
You know what's so crazy to me?
Wait, before we move on, I'm only going to say this to address J-Rob's point. It's not just the winning. When he retired, he had the 2 Super Bowls, the 2 MVPs, plus when he retired, he was top 10 all time in passing yards and TDs all time. That is the reason why he's going to the Hall of Fame.
So Trey, it's because of the 2 Super Bowls, Trey. Give me a break. Give me a break. It's the 2 Super Bowls, Trey.
Let me not take away from that. He's going to the Hall. Look, he's going to the Hall. But let me ask. If he and the Giants didn't have those 2 Super Bowl runs where he was Super Bowl MVP and they beat the Patriots, no. Hold on. If he did, would you still believe he would overwhelmingly be a first ballot Hall of Famer?
No, that's fine.
I don't even know if he's a first ballot. Is he?
He's not a first ballot now. He's not a first ballot now.
I think he is.
But
a lot of people.
I just look.
To who? I hear all the top debates about Eli Manning.
Also, too, just
calls him a first ballot Hall of Fame.
To get into the Hall of Fame, you don't have to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. Just so y'all know,
I know. It just,
I think
he's gonna get in.
It's first and second ballot.
It looks good, J-Rob.
Like Eli Manning getting the Hall of Fame as a second ballot Hall of Famer. I mean, like, yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame, but it's like y'all acting like that hold the same merit as the first ballots, like Dion and them boys. Like,
but what did Dion say, Bama? What did Dion say about the Hall, Bama? What did Dion say about the Hall?
That is true. And I also agree with that too. At some point, it's just becoming a Hall. You feel me?
Yeah, they need an upper room. He said we need another room for the real dogs.
They do need a room for the ones that was top of the moot. You know what I'm saying? Like,
we need to get another jacket. We need the platinum jacket. You know, you get the gold, you get the platinum when you go to the. You feel me? You need a platinum jacket because
what doesn't make sense to me. What doesn't make sense to me, y'all trying to justify this opinion by using the opinions of others, by saying that the reason why this guy's gonna make the Hall of Fame is because of winning. Well, that's based off the false opinion that
that's literally why majority of people say Brady is the GOAT because of winning.
But listen to what
including you.
Listen, no, it's because I think he's that talented. The thing with Eli Manning and the argument you guys are posing is you guys are using the opinion that we're disagreeing with, and we're saying just because everyone else does it and just because everyone else judges it like that, that means we should. And that's not the correct way.
Let me ask you a question. If Tom Brady had 3 Super Bowls to his name and Peyton Manning had just the 2,
Tom Brady's still better.
You would call Tom Brady
Tom Brady's still better.
Easily. Baby. That's not my point. That's not my point. That's not my point. My point is he thinks he's more talented. I just think the conversation will be different because the rings will be closer. I don't think Dub would feel so.
You know what's the separator for me? Have you even noticed
Tom Brady being the GOAT?
Do you even know the separator?
What's the separator?
Postseason performances and Tom Brady.
That's literally what I was about to
Stop.
What's postseason performance? What does that have to do with winning and losing the game?
It doesn't have to be winning.
No, J-Rob. No, J-Rob.
There has been times where
trophies.
There's been times where Peyton Manning has gotten shut out by the New York Jets before even what's his name? Rivers was
Brady always plays the best. I know understand that. That's not
killed by Miami
Dolphins.
Tom Brady, no. Tom Brady consistently for the postseason. He's a great postseason performer, way at a higher level than Peyton Manning. Go check it. It's easy.
I don't disagree with you.
But it's not about winning and losing.
But that's the separator. It's not about the winning and losing. It's not about the winning and losing.
Is Phillip Rivers a first ballot Hall of Famer? Is Phillip Rivers a first ballot Hall of Famer?
Hell no.
Like that sounds no.
Anybody? But he has better stats than Eli.
I think him and Eli on the same
better
level,
winning percentage than Eli.
I think him and Eli on the same level.
Hold on, G-Baby.
I think they're on the same level.
I'm saying in general, they're going to put Eli first ballot because of the winning.
You know what?
Because he's performed because according to y'all, he's performed in the playoffs.
He hasn't multiple times.
This going to NFC championships in the Super Bowl, you've had to perform in the playoffs to get there. I'm not
Did
saying
he
he
not
hasn't
fail
told
multiple times?
Why are you talking about down that big flat?
And then also, real quick, because hold on.
My question is,
you want to know? Wait, hold on.
Hold on, G-Baby, hold on. Let me
He just woke up. Let him talk.
Dub just said you just have to do well in the playoffs. So unless you play well in every single game in the playoffs, the criteria, you can't have a bad game in the playoffs. You're talking about playoff performances.
I told you.
That man
That's
went to
not what
4
we said.
NFC championships. He's been to a Super Bowl. So even though he's not have great games in his playoff career, he's also had to perform to get to those peaks.
So
I'll
answer because he's addressing me. J-Rob, this is the difference. You're talking about measuring this guy's performance off of how far he's making it. I'm not doing that. I'm judging it off of what he's doing on the field. Peyton Manning, and you just go check it for Peyton Manning. His postseason career is not pretty to look at. And when I'm sitting here and judging him compared to Tom Brady, it has nothing to do with he made it to this amount of Super Bowls. It has everything to do with how they performed on the field. And even Brady in his losses
yourself
better
into
than
a corner, though, Doug, doing it by that criteria. Because the reason why you walk yourself in the corner, Peyton Manning consistently plays bad in the postseason, which is why he never had the same success as Brady for us winning those postseason games, especially when they played head to head. So this is my criteria of sports. Like I said, Trent, you play, even though you disappoint me a lot with how you think. You think like you fantasy football watchers, boy, and you disappoint me, Trent, because I know you can play football a little bit, and your daddy is a coach. You know better than to think like this, Trent. You make me so upset, bro.
Bama,
you make me so upset with how you think. All right, so I'm gonna keep it going. In the original basis, when we was playing Pee Wee football, Trey, Trent, J-Rob, all of that, what was the objective of playing a sport? What was the objective, right?
I was about to say you.
Bro.
I ain't playing Pee Wee, so y'all can listen.
No, I'm just saying though. Or whenever you started playing,
can we just move off of this, bro?
No, we don't, because you know what pisses me off about
at the end of the day, though.
I don't care, bro. I really don't care. I don't care.
When we play sports, bro. We always talk.
When I brought up Jimmy G, y'all hated when I brought him up. When I brought up Jimmy G, y'all hated when I brought him up. Y'all hated when I brought up Jimmy G, talking about this winning shit. J-Rob, what did you just say? You have to perform well to make the NFC champions. So did Jimmy G. You have to perform well to make the champions.
But G-Baby, that's such a terrible argument.
That was different. That was different.
It is different because that's an anomaly. There's anomalies in sports,
speak your language, G-Baby. I'm gonna speak your language.
Come on, dog.
Well, so now you care about context when it matters.
Yeah, but you brought up Donovan McNabb.
The best. Like, imagine
one of the best of the best.
He's way better than Jimmy G. He was way better than Jimmy G.
One of the best of the best. That's who
he's way better than Jimmy G. That's my point. This is my point. This is why G-Baby. This is why I understand why they be calling you G-Bot sometimes. And Trent, this is why me and Bama be mad at you when you get along with this nonsense. Because legitimately, you're bringing up Jimmy G when that is an anomaly. I could bring up Jimmy G. I could bring up Trent Dilfer. I could bring up Nick Foles. Guys, that doesn't happen. We're talking about the best of the best. I don't even understand why you bringing them guys up. Why bring those guys up?
Eli Manning are the best of the best.
We're talking about
why
you're 10 times better than the
football watchers.
No, but that's who y'all originally brought up.
That's who
y'all originally brought up. J-Rob, that's who you were.
J-Rob,
you were originally brought up. Donovan McNabb.
Donovan McNabb wasn't a bum. I never quote.
But why did you bring him up?
Why did you bring that up? If we're talking about the best of the best.
I brought him up because Doug brought out doing shit in the playoffs.
But you brought up Donovan McNabb of all people. Donovan McNabb. Why did you bring him up?
My nigga, just because your eyes is watering and you screaming louder don't make you more right.
Why did you bring him up?
Donovan McNabb. So he's
not a good playoff performer. Why would you bring him up?
Going to 3 NFC championships.
Nigga, he didn't play good. So why would you bring him up?
Oh, look, everyone's leaving.
Hey, going to 3 NFC championships, when I use the same point for other people, it's wrong.
At the end of the day, like I said, I bring them up because they won football games, bro. They won football games. Y'all care about just the stats, bro. Y'all care about the stats.
What's Jimmy
Trent, you know what, Trent? I want to go in the BAM Discord. Me and you. No G-Baby, just me and you. just two people that played the game. And I know offense to GB because I got to see how your mind specifically works. Listen. Shut up. I want to go into the Discord and I want to just watch all of Donovan McNabb's playoff games, wins, losses. I want to read all of that. I'm really tired of having this conversation, bro. I'm tired of having this conversation. We don't agree. We're never going to agree. And I feel like the more we keep going back and forth about this, it's just a stalemate. Because I don't agree with y'all. Y'all don't agree with us at the top. And it is what it is. I don't even understand why we keep going back and forth.
We're talking about niggas in playoff performing. Donovan McNabb ain't no player performance.
Stop saying that, bro. Because if you watch his, you wasn't even. You barely even. All right, you know what? Let's just go. Let's just watch it together. Let's just watch it together, bro.
Yes, he went to 3.
I'm not. You can't use the age argument, J-Rob. I know what you're about to do,
bro. Because he don't remember, and he's gonna lie and say he's watching. I was more coherent to it than he was. He was literally a baby. He was literally a baby.
How old were you?
He was
literally a baby.
He was 7, 8.
I can remember that more than a baby. You were
a little ass.
Trent. So then both our points are invalid then. If you're going to
say you could do a homework. You're invalidating the argument.
And that's why I said like you was watching but hold on. But that's why I stopped before I even brought it up. You brought it up, Dub. And I think that's why I said Trent and I.
If you go on stage, you might as well jump off the cliff.
But I'm not jumping off the cliff. Bro, everybody could get grace but you. But anyway, Trent, let me get to my point. My whole point is, can we literally watch this film together and come to that conclusion together? Because my whole point about it is me, Fluent, and Bama. We don't always care about the box score when it comes to quarterbacks because we all realize every game ain't going to be pretty. And the only thing that really matters and the only thing that really people are going to talk about when you walk out of that locker room is what is the scoreboard at the end. Did you win or lose the game?
Can you put the super chat up, cousin? Can you put the super chat up, please? The one that just came up. Can you put the super chat
sat there and talked about? Please. The reason why I say this, bro,
must be. The point of the game is to win. So must be, bro.
Ain't no right. That's the point.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I'm going back and forth, bro. At the end of the day, I've lived in a world where winning matters. I understand the implications.
You can leave that super chat. You can leave that super chat up because that is the laziest. That is the laziest rebuttal. That is the laziest rebuttal / take. When someone says winning matters, when someone says winning matters in the equation, all of you lazy people go immediately to, oh, well, this guy won this, so he must be the greatest. No, because everything else matters too, right? It's like when someone says winning matters in basketball, and they go, oh, then Robert Horry is better than. No, dummy. That's lazy. It's part of the equation. So yes, winning does matter. Period. If you put up the most, and my example that I gave you before that no one could rebuttal was Phillip Rivers is like top 6 in every statistical category, and not one of you has him top 10 because
what did he do in the postseason? He was terrible in the postseason.
The postseason was terrible. To the fantasy football explanation. This is just what I want y'all to hear me out on, bro. Just hear me out, bro.
I'll go after you.
This is why I say the winning has to be a quarterback sport. And then you can't bring up them weak ass stats, bro, especially when it comes to good players, bro. J-Rob knows this by him playing defense. It comes once in a time where you face a defense that has a specially gifted group of motherfuckers on defense, just like a quarterback. And when you play those defenses, they don't give up nothing. So it goes back to your mental fortitude of, hey, bro, at some point, I have to crack this code to possibly get a touchdown to win the game or put my team in field goal position to win. Because J-Rob, it is defenses out there. We was just out here with a dog. Okay. You niggas think it's gonna be easy to move the ball on Luke Kuechly like that? He gonna call out your every play in your face. That's what's gonna make you scared. First of all, he gonna be like, hey, I know that sweep coming. Hey, watch the dig. Watch this. He gonna be doing shit like that throughout the course of a game to where it's like, bro, how the fuck can we move the ball on these dudes?
All right. So,
and Trent, before you go, Trent, hold on, my last thing.
Mental
You go.
fortitude to be able to score a game-winning touchdown and field goal on them dudes, bro. That's what I'm talking about, bro. And QB winning stat.
And wait, because after this, Trent, I got nothing to say on the. It's the last thing I got to say on it, and I'm done on it. My Trent, but this, I want to say one thing to you, Trent. You and I both agree we think Cam Newton is a Hall of Famer, right? Yeah. I've heard you say yes. We've talked about it. I've heard you say yes, bro.
50 on it. Yes.
Okay, but I've heard you say yes to my face. So I'm going by what the first conversation we talked about, you say yes. Do I argue him with winning and all of that? He didn't. No. Like I don't think every Hall of Famer had to win the big dance.
But okay,
I'm comparing the top, and that's why I don't understand why that's so hard to understand when we talk about. I'm talking about the absolute.
Because please, this is our main three. This is our all talking about the 20.
You bring up Jimmy G.
I brought him up because you brought up Donovan McNabb.
Don was talking about playoffs. He was talking about doing things in the playoffs. That's why I brought him up.
Oh my God! You brought up Donovan McNabb as the top of the top in the playoffs.
No, like I said, bro, y'all just have not been. Y'all just have not.
This is
you're literally just taking that because you heard Trent say it. You don't even really feel that. Not even your argument.
Can I ask you a question? If I threw for over 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception, was that a good game?
Yeah, we got to notice.
How many attempts too?
21 of 35.
Yeah, 21-35. Yeah, I'm fine with that.
But you said Phillip Rivers sucked in the playoffs. That was a loss.
That's one game.
That's one game.
What are you talking about?
I know the game with what you're talking about too. Wasn't he? Did he go up against the? That was in 2008. That was in 2008.
All right. Anyways, because
he didn't always play bad.
I'm not saying he always played bad, but it's the sample size. The sample size is more good than bad.
If he wins, right? If he wins, we look at him differently. Correct?
Who did he face? He faced the Steelers. That was 08, right?
Yeah. Bro, we just
you could still rate him. No, you can think about.
The point is, if Phillip Rivers went on the run that year and wins, you think of him differently, right?
It depends on how he performs.
Okay, can I say? Okay,
if he's on a team, if he plays one good game, if he goes on a run, that's different. But even then, if he goes
I ain't gonna lie, bro, we gotta look at them stats again.
No. If he goes on, stop. No. I got you. Joe Flacco went on a crazy run in 2012.
Yeah,
went on a ridiculous run. Who the hell thinks about Joe Flacco differently?
That year, everybody.
Exactly. Because we don't look at him like one of them guys.
Stop.
One of them guys. Nobody looks at him no way.
Stop.
Because Warner is way better than him. Did not win the
Super Bowl run.
You're not listening.
Nick Foles is still getting paid.
Stop. Y'all changing it.
He got you in your city.
No, stop. In terms of that run, everyone respects and praises that run. But y'all don't sit here and ranking Joe Flacco all the time. Y'all not gonna be like, oh yeah, that run when he went on was so transcendent.
I'm gonna
put him in category. I'm gonna put him in the category over Phillip Rivers or over Ben Roethlisberger. You guys don't do that.
If he was top 5 statistically, you absolutely would. Why? Because why do you think Nick Foles is a good quarterback?
Okay, so wait. Okay,
you're not listening
because he's not.
This is me.
We move on, bro. We talk about going on right now.
It makes sense.
Wait. Let me get this up before we move on.
No. Because wait. Stop. Wait. I need to address this because this is so funny.
You know this young fluent and old fluent battle.
Okay.
I'm the young one.
The fact with Joe Flacco and then Phillip Rivers. If Phillip Rivers goes on one run throughout his whole entire career, majority of people don't change their opinions off people because of that. Donovan Mad going on a run in 2004, even though it was actually a good run in 2004. People don't change their opinions about him. People don't do that. Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl. Joe Flacco won the Super Bowl, and people still thought Joe Flacco was the same guy. The thing is, they just like, oh, he just went on a great run. Joe Flacco did not sit here and try to uplift Joe Flacco like he was this crazy quarterback after that ring. They not.
Because when you watched the game, W, you saw the bullshit he was throwing. You could easily
see, and now you're just a fucking hater, and you don't love winning. You don't love winning. No, I'm gonna use your logic. You're being a fucking hater. You're being a fucking hater and not praising winning the way you talk about it. This is about how you win is how you win the game. Is you win the game, and you put the nuts on the table.
You're going to one extreme. You're going to the extreme. You're going to the extreme.
Hear me out.
I say it all matters.
If we on offense and I'm at quarterback, bro, I'm throwing jump balls the whole game, bro, and you bean topping, my nigga. Is you really J-Rod, keep it a bean right now, bro. You niggas played the game. Trey, keep it a bean, my nigga.
If I'm sitting here throwing 50-50 balls, jump balls,
you're being disrespectful. It's about winning, bro.
Is
He
you
went
really
11
gonna
TDs
say,
and 0
is you
interceptions.
niggas really
You're taking it to the extreme. You're being
niggas really
lazy.
gonna say I was dialing that
because
up?
nobody
Trent,
switched up their opinions on
Trent,
Joe Flacco at all
if
because
I'm
of that
throwing
run.
you jump
So what you're
balls,
saying
man,
is not true.
Bro, we watched it.
Everybody can go on a run, bro.
That's my point. That's exactly my point.
Versus
So
Denver.
him using Phillip Rivers,
Versus
no way.
What I said.
Comparing the top
versus
guys,
Denver,
Hold on, Batman. Hold on.
To Jacoby Jones, he just threw the ball up, gang.
But there's other.
Hey, when he threw them 8 touchdowns and no picks, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all keep it a beam, bro. Y'all.
What's the difference?
Trey, bro. Y'all boys, bro. Y'all know, bro.
What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference between Eli Manning and Phillip Rivers? That's how this started. What's the difference?
I think Phillip's better. I think
these niggas don't like talking about watching the game.
I don't disagree with that.
You're in the minority. You're in the minority.
But why is Phillip Rivers not going? Is not getting the conversation for the Hall of Fame?
Mindset that you guys are talking about
right
now.
But Doug, you're talking to 3 guys that don't have a vote for the Hall of Fame. We're not the ones voting.
That's why I'm saying
there's
the
a pool of
mindset
people.
is wrong. So using that,
it's
what
not
you're
doing,
and what you're doing is you're justifying your opinion off of other people's mindset.
That's
like me saying it's okay for me to cheat on my girl because a lot of people I'm with is saying it's okay.
Correct.
I hear what you're saying. No, that's not a bad point, though. I don't think that's a terrible point. But also, you got to also look. We're talking about one position that has a different criteria because Joe Thomas was losing his entire career in Cleveland, played for more quarterbacks than we have people that work on Players' Choice. It was a first ballot Hall of Famer, no joke. And that's a fact, though. That's a fact.
But J-Rob, the point is with me, Dub. But the point is with me, Dub, and G-Baby, with the point about the winning shit, we get that winning matters, is that we feel like y'all niggas don't put no context to it. For example, Bama in the regular season, when it was Chargers versus the Chiefs, when Justin Herbert drove down with a 2-minute drive and got the ball with like 59 seconds. Remember, got the ball 59 seconds. What do you want Justin Herbert to do? He did what you were supposed to do, and now the defense for
You said milk the clock more after having the ball for 5 or 6 minutes.
I'm not lost on that.
Can I talk? He addressed me. Go ahead. So this is why I say with Justin Herbert is a unique situation because his fans is worse damn near than LeBron fans. So the pedestal y'all put Justin Herbert on, bro. I have no choice but to grade him at the top of the moot, bro. So when y'all be like, 56 seconds left, what more did you want him to do? Well, I saw Deshaun Watson in the same position, milk the whole clock to 2 seconds. When? He give them niggas no time to rebuttal. So that's why I go. That's why I go when niggas get to talk about guys like Herbert is the best. So I compare him to the best.
Sir, when did he do that, sir?
Watson, Lamar, T-Law. So
that is true though. Y'all was comparing him to the best in the league when he came out.
I be like,
you didn't example for context.
Why you can't do that? Why you want me to stop?
That was Mookie.
Wait, but time out.
Y'all was calling him like a top 5 guy after his first.
J-Rob, when did he do that? When did the shot? Can y'all give me the game? What?
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the standard in which Justin Herbert had the moment he got to the league.
But J-Rob, he could be a top 5 guy.
But at the same time, also,
and I don't think it's disrespect. I've always said he's a top 5
when Burrow play Mahomes, what it look like? Them boys having a duel out there. Burrow be on that nigga helmet, boy. Hey, Burrow be on that nigga helmet, boy.
Wait, Batman.
That wasn't a duel. They just came back. What are you talking about? And they got killed. Then they got killed the next. They got killed.
You niggas are sitting there with Justin Herbert. It's
Joe Burrow just got killed. What are you talking about?
Joe Burrow just played not good in the playoffs, and nobody's saying nothing. But you said he played Herbert regular season game.
That last game versus the Chiefs,
the postseason game.
I like that. They gave them niggas 5 downs. They gave them 5 downs in the game, boy. We watched that game.
Talking about the last playoff game. I'm talking about the last playoff game when Joe Burrow threw that bullshit to Jamar Chase. He caught it on double team.
They let that nigga punt the ball. Then the referee came back out there and said, "Oh no, it's 3rd down." You talking about that game right there with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase in the fourth quarter, turning to Joe Montana and Jerry Rice? You talking about that game? You talking about that game in crunch time when that boy turned up? You talking about that crunch time?
You must have another topic.
I watched the game. I watched the game, boy. That boy turned up. That boy turned up.
You did not turn up, bro. You
turned up. Professional football player.
I just think we interpret the game differently. We have to leave it that way.
I forgot. I was gonna say something to you, J-Rob. I completely.
We gotta. I think we should all agree that we interpret the game differently. Bro.
So J-Rob, this is it.
Trey, apologize to Luke that we scared him off.
Nah, he had to go.
No, I'm playing.
Oh, I say we only had 30 minutes. Yeah, we actually had him longer than we was.
Yeah, we did have him much longer. J-Rob, J-Rob. The thing is, when we call him a top 5 guy, the thing is, it's like when people say top 5, y'all be like, oh, I got to put this guy in the top 5 standard. No, there could just be a pool of quarterbacks where I keep telling people, besides Mahomes, who the fuck is proven in this league? No one.
I agree. I don't think the only person chasing Tom right now is Mahomes.
So my point is,
I agree and I disagree with you. I agree and I disagree with you. Other than Mahomes, you're right.
Can I finish this point though, real quick?
Oh, so I thought you were done. My bad.
Yeah. So my point is, and that Fluent, you got it, is we're calling him top 5 in a realm of quarterbacks where none of these guys are really proven like that, or they're Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, where they're getting kind of washed out. But go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers is about to.
I agree and I disagree. So I agree. Obviously, Mahomes isn't, I believe, in a class by himself. I think we all agree on that. But
exactly,
if you are going to say, we might all not agree, but if you're going to say this player's top 5 or top 3, then that is the standard that he needs to be held to for that person. So if I don't know, like Ben's a big Herbert guy or G baby. If they say Herbert is a top 3 guy, then you have to hold him to a top 3 standards, because if you're going to hold him to a top 15, it's a different standard. Like we're going to look at Kirk Cousins differently than we look at Herbert. You have to.
That's fine. But if everybody in that top 5 conversation is struggling with almost the same thing, Josh Allen with the winning and the winning success, him being inconsistent, Lamar Jackson can't stay on the field like that.
Absolutely.
But then nobody can be a top 3, but then the only people that can be top 3, top 5 quarterbacks, then there should be a gap. Is Burrow, Mahomes, and then there's none. Everyone else. That makes no sense. That makes no sense.
Why would Deshaun Watson
top tier, second tier, third tier?
I don't know why Deshaun Watson would be in this category, but anyways.
I didn't bring up Deshaun Watson.
Bro,
I ain't finna tap dance, boy. Man, I'm finna hold my guns, bro. Big boy blasting, bro.
Here's my thing,
you
though.
didn't feel last time he played a full season.
Hold on, there are certain.
Bro, didn't even improve.
Hold on. But here's the thing, though. There are certain situations for quarterbacks when you did what you had to do, you did your best. And
Facts.
Lost the game.
Facts.
What I'm saying. Lost the game because of the defense. Y'all was saying
No, I wouldn't.
Well, probably not you, J-Rob.
No, I wouldn't. No, the fuck I wouldn't.
I seen Fluid or and Bama say the same thing. I just seen, you got to get it done. Y'all was disagreeing with Dante on the last show. You got to get it done, but we don't keep it consistent.
Let's be clear on what I said. What I said and what Dante Hall agreed with was you have to get it done more often than you don't. So just if you're going to quote me, you got to get it done more than you don't.
That's perfectly fine.
You ain't got to clear that bullshit up, Fluid. They know what you mean.
Wait, let me ask you. I need clarification on this. I need a clarification. So you're telling me it should be in our rankings. It's Mahomes, Burrow, empty slot, Josh Allen, Lamar, Justin Herbert.
I'm saying there's a tier, and it has Burrow and Mahomes, who's at the top of that tier, and then there's another tier quarterback that is below them.
And I can agree with that. I actually do agree with that. My point is, when J-Rob's talking about, you're calling him a top 5 guy, the quarterback pool in terms of proven guys, it's not a lot.
No, it's not.
So he could definitely be a top 5 guy easily.
So if he's in that second tier, so whoever you have in that second tier, and I'm assuming it's Josh Allen, Justin Herbert,
Lamar.
Okay. You should hold those guys to the same standard, and you're not going to hold Kirk Cousins, Jared Goff to that same standard, right? You're not going to hold Ryan Tannehill. You're not going to expect Ryan Tannehill to play like Justin Herbert. You can't.
No, okay, but
and it's unfair And it's just as unfair as it is to expect. Hold on, just as it's unfair to have Ryan Tannehill to expect the same thing that you get out of Justin Herbert, it's unfair to expect Justin Herbert to give him expectations of Ryan Tannehill.
But everything what you just said is right. Even look, Mahomes tier of his own, Joe Burrow in a higher tier. That next tier, you can have the Josh Allen, Herbert, Lamar, and all that, and then there can be another tier with Tannehill and Jared Goff. Yes, but that next tier that we're talking about, it's gotta fill in the line.
I ain't gonna lie, G-Baby, you missed the name. When you said that tier with Justin Herbert, Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, and Lamar, you forgot another name, Geno Smith as well in that tier.
This nigga's he's not. Jay Reed, talk to these niggas, boy. You disgusting, bro.
That's the most accurate quarterback in the league last season. Wait. Can I respond to Trent real quick? Let me. I'm gonna lie. I'm definitely higher on Geno Smith than most because he had the most. He's accurate, bro. I think he's accurate, bro. I think Geno. Yeah, I think Geno's one of them guys. I was really impressed with Geno. I know everybody got to see it again. But Trent, here's my thing when it comes to this quarterback. This is really all I gotta say. My first thing is this. When we're talking about guys losing games, I understand football is the ultimate team sport in regards to listen, sometimes you're going to get the ball back with 30 seconds, a minute 15. You may not even have a timeout left. You know what I'm saying? So I know there's going to be real bad situations where climbing the length of the field is probably unlikely or you're banking on a field goal. But there's also those times where we've seen multiple different greats, Brady's, the Mannings, the Rodgers, the Joe Montanas, who've had less than a minute and pulled off miracles. We saw Mahomes do it with 17 seconds. And I think that was an ode to their greatness. But my thing is this, and this is why I say when I'll be bringing the winning factor in, y'all got to understand where I see it is these players are so good at the game that we are splitting absolute hairs. And you got to think, like I just said, the top of the top is, first of all, I don't even agree with y'all. Mahomes is the tier, and then it's Burrow's in his own. The second tier alone is Burrow, and then the next tier is. Hold on. But yeah, and really, I'm with Bama. I think Joe Burrow's tier, I could put to me Allen, Lamar, Herbert in that mix. Even Aaron Rodgers, if you really want me to go there. But even with that being said, let's say we're not comparing. Let's take Mahomes out of it. Just comparing 2 to 5 or 2 to 6. These players all have elite level skill sets. So when and their stats are going to be great, we're splitting hairs with QBRs and attempts per games. So it's in my head, it's we are splitting absolute hairs. So sometimes the things that we're going to say to make a guy over another is what they've done in certain moments in their careers because they're all so successful. And that's why when I talk about the top of the top, and I shouldn't have brought up McNabb, but I think the Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, McNabb, that realm of guys were all franchise quarterbacks, and I think they were the same about tier of players. So when I'm comparing them in that group, but with the top of the top, it's the little things. If we compare just MVPs and awards, I mean, come on. We've seen guys win MVPs at quarterback and ain't do shit in the postseason. You know what I'm saying? So it's we're literally splitting absolute hairs. So that's why I feel I always have to add the winning argument for quarterbacks because as a receiver, dependent position. DeAndre Hopkins will always be a top 10 guy to me because he played with nothing but bums at a dependent position. It was nothing but productive. Barry Sanders did not go to no big dances, no Super Bowl rings, but we're going to consider him one of the 5 to 3 best greatest running backs together because of what he was able to produce. Quarterbacks, though, they automatically get that, to me, the winning argument because they're usually the guys who win the Super Bowl MVPs. They're usually the guys on the face of the team. They're usually the guy, come on, Justin Herbert and Trevor Lawrence. You saw how the pendulum shifted to one guy versus the other guy. And you don't got to say up here with us, but with the media, with fans, the pendulum completely shifted after one moment.
And the quarterback also has more control of the game than any other position.
Yeah, going there.
So I'm splitting hairs, bro. I'm really splitting hairs with this stuff, bro.
Hey, speaking of going off of what you just said, they control the whole game. Hey, Bama, let me ask you something. How you came for Deshaun Watson and you don't? Do you remember his last playoff game on Bama? Do you remember Deshaun Watson's last playoff game? When he blew that 24-0 lead at halftime, they got smoked by 20. How you came for that? But you shit on Justin Herbert. And he had more time to capitalize. So how you don't do it for Deshaun Watson?
So how many times
Okay, bet. This is why I eat through y'all dumbass niggas. How many times have the Los Angeles Chargers traded away the whole offense? Traded away every weapon. You bitch ass niggas come here and
he had D-Hop and Will Fuller that year.
Nigga. No, you gonna make me mad.
D-Hop was there, Bama.
D-Hop was there.
D-Hop was there, Bama. D-Hop was there.
D-Hop
was there.
D-Hop was there. You didn't use that. D-Hop was there. How you want that lead though? Finish or is you done? Go ahead.
Was it Brandon Cooks there? Wait, let me check.
Is you finish or is
well, let's go look at that roster, dog.
It was the defense that let
go look at that weak ass roster.
And the defense is why they went up 24-0. That is
okay. I don't know, Trent. I don't know.
Hey, you ain't finna say no Lambo because you got another nigga name in your motherfucking YouTube, boy. Your name LeBron fan 23, boy. You lost that life, boy. You got another nigga that's your name, boy. This is why I really get nasty right now. So I'm gonna go through the chat real quick because
you lost that. It's crazy.
Because you niggas got me mad right now, bro. Because I really be hating how you niggas talk about.
It was DeAndre Hopkins and Will Fuller.
You niggas know what I be talking about,
and Kenny Stills.
Y'all sit up here and take all these white boys.
Will Fuller was cooking. Will Fuller was cooking.
He was cooking.
Sherman, Watson, and Lamar.
Kenny Stills played that game too.
Watson and Lamar had those shittiest situations you could possibly.
Now you care about situations in the playoffs.
And these niggas found a way to be relevant.
Hey, I wish I had D-Hop and Will Fuller as my receivers. That's a pretty great situation. I don't know.
I ain't even gonna argue with you niggas, bro. It's gonna be a point of segment, boy, where I just get to talk about this shit, because you niggas really be happy.
Okay, now we care about the team.
Trent, especially you.
Trent, you're the only one that really make me upset. Yeah, Trent, you're the only one, bro. You're the only one.
Was I wrong?
Like when Dub and G Baby do what they do, I really don't care. But when you do it specifically, it annoys me every time.
I kind of feel offended.
Yeah.
I don't even mean it like that.
I'm offended.
I respect y'all football acumen when it comes to y'all know what I'm talking about.
Wait, hold on, but what's like happening though? You shit on Justin Herbert for blowing a 27-0 lead, right? Do you not? Yes or no? Simple.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does.
You don't say shit when Deshaun Watson blew a 24-0 lead. Keep it in the and he rolled out like 21.
You niggas don't keep it in
the next half.
And the defense is the reason why they were up 24.
He lost to Mahomes, though.
Shut up.
No, we not.
And that's why. Y'all give people excuses. Y'all give people out.
I was being nasty. Because Deshaun was top 5 this year, so he could compete with Mahomes. Deshaun was top 5 that year.
At the end of the day, man. At the end of
that year, he played Mahomes in that playoff game. He was top 5.
Mahomes was different.
Hey, y'all know.
Different.
Everybody in my soul know.
Had a great game, though, right?
Everybody know in my soul know, but I don't like playing.
He had a great game.
Yeah, 31 to 52, 400 yards, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Oh, I don't think
you would say he had a great game.
I don't think he played bad.
Their defense gave up 50.
He
won.
Bama,
that's not Deshaun.
Bama, don't go. Bama, don't.
But it's your standard that we're combating.
Bama, don't go.
Don't want to let me get my. I'm just finna.
My standard's different than theirs.
Y'all,
I do see that.
Y'all the famous personalities. I'm just a teacher at a school, my nigga. Like y'all I can't never finish. And I'm finna say you got it.
I had to shit because I was getting stopped on the street so much.
You got it.
Fluent. I do want to say,
just a regular nigga, man.
No, Bama, finish your point though.
Yeah, go ahead. Finish.
I forgot what I was about to say. Y'all got it. That's your mother should teach you respect. For Fluent, you too old to be doing what they doing right now. I'll let you steal all of my takes enough, my nigga. You can let me go and say some intelligent shit every now and then.
Can I ask the panel a question?
Fluent want to be the only intelligent nigga on here, bro. Like, god damn, my nigga, let me share that shit, bro. Like, I'm working in college, my nigga. I get tired of everybody thinking I'm just a funny dumb nigga.
Next episode,
bro, I teach at the college, fellas. Like,
I won't say anything.
Yo, Bama.
I want to take y'all into my life real quick, bro. I'm a counselor at a college, fellas. Like, come on now. Like, I'm really
open field. They're gonna see.
You know what?
Open field. They're gonna see.
Hey, all the young niggas in the chat. Hey, boy,
I know. Maybe that's right. I know how smart you are.
Every young nigga on the planet, under 28. I want to see y'all win, boy. I love you, boy. Straight up. Trent, I already know. I already talked to Trent so many times. But I fuck with the young boys, boy. I'm the only old head that really want to see y'all win deep down, boy. That shit.
Damn, I ain't get a message like that. That's crazy.
Boy.
What are you talking? I give two people jobs that hit me up in my DMs.
Anyway, man, that's just who I am, bro. Shouts out to y'all, boy. I love y'all boys, man. Y'all young niggas. Y'all gonna make the world go round, boy. For real.
I care about people so much. I gave up the panel so that I could put more time into my work and hire people that DM'd me from this show and from those other shows. Stop it. Okay, go ahead, Dub. Go ahead.
Oh no, I do want to tell you about standards and expectations. The thing is that I disagree with, where I hold everyone to the same standard. I expect differently from people, right? Standard is a measuring stick we use to judge people. But I could expect people to not meet it, to underperform, or to overperform. So that's where I disagree, where I hold everyone to the same standard. I don't care if you're Kirk Cousins or Patrick Mahomes, but off the realization and off of me knowing, I just expect different results.
Right. Okay, so that's perfect. So everybody is held to the same standard, and that's how you rank them, how they perform compared to that standard. Once they're there, there's an expectation, and a top 5 quarterback is expected to be better than a bottom 5 quarterback, and you have to hold them accountable to those expectations, or whatever you want to call it. But that's perfect.
I do hold them accountable for those expectations, and then I'll evaluate it where, all right, maybe he wasn't as good as which I thought he was, right? If Geno Smith doesn't perform well, I'm holding him to the same standard. But if he doesn't perform well, I'm going to be wrong. I'll say I'm wrong about my expectations. It's not an indictment.
He's performing.
This is what a lot of people do. Instead of just acknowledging that I was wrong about somebody's expectations, they'll sit here and just try to criticize the guy and tear that man down. I don't do that.
Geno Smith's a great.
I tear people down, but for different reasons.
Yeah.
I would say, Deb, I don't know about that part.
It's a great example. Geno Smith is a great example. And don't get me wrong, he had a great season last year. But why were we so impressed? Because no one expected him
to be the most accurate quarterback in the league this year.
No one expected it.
Geno
I praise Geno.
I'm gonna make sure I keep saying that. I'm gonna make sure he's a dog. I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm gonna keep saying the most accurate quarterback.
I ain't going to know him.
It's amazing what happened.
Based off of my critique, I ain't going to know him yet. But
Pete Carroll will never be on fraud watch to me. Pete gets it done. Pete Carroll is no longer on fraud watch. He might be the whisperer, G baby. He might be.
Wait. J-Rob, he's not on fraud watch.
Nah, he might be the.
Nah,
he might be the.
He don't.
Dumbest play call.
No, that was the dumbest play call. That was the dumbest play call. But
he's always getting taxed for that. As a head coach, you don't find out. We got Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, but hold on, G baby, hold on. See, this is why I say you got to look at the totality versus one play or one game or whatever, because what you're saying right now is very typical and of casual fans, and you're not him. So listen to what I'm saying. If he makes that play, because everyone's expecting Marshawn to run it, if he throws that and they win, everyone's applauding Pete Carroll for what a great play he made. He tricked them. Everyone thought they were going to run. And Russell Wilson, what a great quarterback. Everyone applauds them. You can't judge it based on the outcome. I agree. I would have ran Marshawn 3-4 times and said, just get it in. I agree with that. But you can't judge him on that one play. You got to look at his totality of calls and plays that he makes. Now, I'm not a big fan.
Perfect. Wait, no, G-Base, stop.
I'm not a big fan of Pete Carroll.
And the same way you're looking at the coach.
If that play works and they win, right? We're looking at him differently. And Russell Wilson, we're looking at him differently than we are now, because it didn't work and they lost.
I find it funny. You have that state of mind of thinking. But for the quarterback position,
no, I included the quarterback. Included it.
No. You said it's not really that much on him because.
No, I said Russell. I said we're thinking of him differently if he completes that pass.
Pete Carroll. No, Pete Carroll, right?
Pete Carroll too, yeah.
You're saying you did not agree with that way of thinking. You think Pete Carroll's still that guy. It's just because of that. Because the totality.
Carroll. I said
because the totality of what he's done is still better than that moment right there. So the same thing I said half an hour ago about the totality of what a player did in that game is not that it's his
I didn't say game. I didn't say game. I said career, not game.
But you think?
But quarterbacks especially are going to be judged.
Did Tom Brady have a bad game when he fumbled the ball in 2017?
Did they win the game?
They have a bad game. I'm asking you.
Did they win the game? Which
no,
game?
They lost. They lost. Eagles Super Bowl. He fumbled. Lost in the game.
Tell me more.
He fumbled the ball. They lost the game because of that fumble.
Because the fumble, and he didn't perform in the clutch. Yeah, that's a bad look on him.
Bad game?
That's a bad game.
No, he had a bad time in the clutch.
Hey, so
that's a bad game to you. You just said that.
Game. It's not a bad game.
No,
It's
Fluid, literally 30 minutes ago, you were saying right
playing both
here.
sides, bro.
I do play because that's how I feel. Gotta look at
G-Baby, I ain't gonna lie, G-Baby, you play
these niggas Trey because my head is getting scrambled.
All right.
Hey,
I'm
change the topic. I don't got a topic.
Trey,
I got
niggas like
wait, hold on, wait. Before Trey, G-Baby, you be playing both sides too, actually.
I'm just going to address.
But that's the thing, though. When you look at these things, you have to look.
Because you don't put the same energy on Trevor Lawrence and Geno Smith.
You can't.
Oh, you want to know the difference?
What's the difference? What's the difference?
One was a year two, and the other one is 32.
Warnock.
What's the difference? What is 32?
Warnock, yes. You have to have your cake and eat it too. What's the point of having cake if you don't eat it?
Playing two sides.
Can I play? Let me do a Can I play Mr. Devil's Advocate?
Play Devil's Advocate for me.
Let me ask you.
Who?
Yeah, Geno was asked before, like this year. Could you not say Trevor Lawrence was asked his rookie year?
Who are you asking?
G-Baby.
Oh, G-Baby.
That's
Wait, Grandma, just wait.
Trevor Lawrence wasn't good his rookie year.
So you can really say.
So you only see 1 year.
One good year from both of you.
Good his rookie year.
One good year.
Wait.
I'm saying we've seen one good year from both of them. You know, the season was kind of ass backwards. You know, one played good in the beginning, one kind of fell off in the second. One played ass in the beginning. In the second half, he picked it up. I mean, can it not be the same?
So there's two differences. There's two differences with that. No, Trey.
Yep.
Hey, you played it.
Wow.
I'm gonna answer you, Trey. So there's two differences. Like I told J-Rob, one is 32, and the other one is in year two. So there's more of an upside there. Second, we had a whole decade. Matter of fact, not even the whole decade. After Geno's first 2 bad years, why Ryan Fitzpatrick come in and look way better than that nigga?
Oh my God.
Way better. Took his job.
I ain't gonna lie, bro. You're not gonna talk to me about the Jets. You're not gonna talk to me about the Jets. You're not going to talk to me about the Jets and what we had going on in that facility. So don't go over there. Talk about Ryan Fitzpatrick came in. You know what Ryan Fitzpatrick was? G-Baby. Ryan Fitzpatrick is what I like to call a butterface.
J-Rob, watch this kicker, right? I don't know what the fuck he's watching. Because unless you're watching the practice squad, you didn't even see Geno Smith on the fucking field. So what the fuck are you watching? You know who the
reason he wasn't on the field because he was that good.
You can't say we've seen Geno for 10 years. We don't have anything to go off of.
I literally said scratch the 10 years.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question real quick? Can I ask a question real quick?
Go ahead.
Can I ask a question?
There's a reason now.
Hey,
we making pot roast.
G-Baby. From one black nigga that look like a Latino to another black nigga that look like a Latino. You look Mexican too, my nigga.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. You know, G-Baby, niggas been asking if you was Mexican.
Yeah.
I think they asked me that because I know Spanish, but no, I'm full black. Both my parents.
Me too. But anyway, just keep it a bean, G-Baby. Just keep it a bean. So, you really go hold somebody's foot to the fire, like for the Jets, like.
Thank you.
Okay, so
no, pre-Rodgers. I know you thinking about Rodgers, and it's a new Jets. They got Garrett Wilson.
Dog days,
bro. You really go hold his foot to the fire? Like,
thank
come
you.
on, bro.
So can I answer that, Emma?
And also, G-Baby, can you answer this question before you answer that question?
Okay.
Do you agree that Fluent? I want you to ask this too, because you the OG on here. Just keep it a bean right now. Do you think that black quarterbacks have a bigger obstacle to go through to be great in the NFL, which is dominated by predominantly white owners outside of Amir Khan with the Jaguars? That's dominated by white owners. Do you think that black quarterbacks that come in the league that they have a
what would they be a journeyman?
Yeah, they have a more gap to cover to show that they NFL worthy than
the next quarterback. So that's what reels me back to if you look at Geno in New York, you feel me? Deshaun in Houston, Lamar.
So I'm gonna answer your second question
Baltimore.
first.
But yeah, go ahead.
So I'm gonna answer your second question first, and I'm gonna go back to the first one. So historically, of course, even I say as early as the mid 2010s. Absolutely. I think now we're kind of coming into like in today's league, we're kind of coming into the world where it's not as much because let's be real, everybody's looking for more of a mobile quarterback. And like the facts, just more of the mobile quarterbacks happen to be the black ones. So I will say that historically that is. So now back to the Geno thing in the Jets. Realistically, do I hold Geno over his head for his Jets thing and all that? No, not really.
No way.
My problem with no. But my problem is with Geno. My problem, or not even Geno specifically, because I don't want him to fail. Realistically, my problem is, and it's not even just Dub and J-Rob. It's all the other Geno supporters that have elevated him to a level that he don't need to be at. Granted, yes, he had his best season by far. Wait, Trey. Hey, Trey, I'm gonna come to you after. And Trey, I'm gonna come to you after. I'm mixing it all in. They're elevating him to a level that he doesn't need to be at, even though he had a great year, especially because he's 32 years old. And the upside on him compared to a Trevor Lawrence, Trent, or even a Daniel Jones, even because they're only 4 years in the league, is a lot different. I think we need to tether those expectations.
But so Geno Smith is a young 32. He ain't played no football. He didn't play like his body good.
Quick question with the 32.
Young 32.
Hey, quick question with the 32 as well. And I also want to ask Trent this. Talent-wise, and given what they do on the field, how far do you think Warren Moon is ahead of Geno? From what they showed, I ain't talking about hindsight 2020. I ain't talking about hindsight 2020. But from what they showed at the age of 32 on forward, how far do you think Warren Moon was? Because this was going to lead into my next question. Warren Moon played until 41, 42, right? Somewhere up in there.
Somewhere, yeah.
Late, I think 41. Early 40s. He played somewhere up in there. So with the quarterback, because you keep holding that 32 above Geno head, I'm 31, bro, and I feel like, I'm saying, I'm still young. I play,
and I'm not trying.
And I'm not court basketball.
And he is a young, young 32.
32. Like what J-Rob say. Like what J-Rob say. So Warren Moon, and I'm just going based off of what my young Sahab say. You feel me? Warren Moon, he not the greatest quarterback. You know what I'm saying? Like he was towards the tail end of his years, was mid. Some old heads would say was good based off the situation. So with Geno being 32, right? I personally, I'm just going off of Warren Moon because he's not the greatest. He was able to play 10 more years after that, right? So you saying 30, you holding at 32 above his head.
Okay, like so let me clarify. So then let me clarify that. I'm not necessarily calling him an old man when I say he's 32. When I talk about his 32, I'm comparing him to the other guys in the league who are much younger and at this point have a much higher upside. You brought up Warren Moon. Warren Moon, we know the situation. They didn't let him in. When he came into the league, even though he did play another 10 years, shout out to him, the upside that was viewed on Warren Moon wasn't as high as it could have been if they let him in the league off the rip because, he just had a whole other 10 years. And Warren Moon was playing football, right? So but when I talk about Geno just being 32, I'm just talking about when I look at these other guys who have a much higher upside because of the age, because of, they're just more athletic at this point. I'm not necessarily calling Geno an old man. I'm just saying, Geno, let's be real, we'll be lucky at this point if we get another 2 years of just what he's been at this past season. Because I just feel like well, to answer your question, J-Rob, I feel like they're going to find his replacement soon anyway. That's just the nature of the beast. They're going to find a guy in a draft or a younger guy is going to become available that they're going to get.
Not old for quarterback, Jose.
But hold on.
Wait, let me get it. Let me get it.
Yeah, my fault, Trey. I forgot, bro. You the intelligent one. My bad, brother. How you doing today anyway, my young lock brother? I see you and your little brother. I feel a few of his locks falling out. You something else, boy.
That's Trey.
You something else, bro.
All right, look. One, I just got to address something real quick. The whole notion of a young 32, No, I'm sorry.
I disagree.
I disagree with that 100%.
I do too. I'm 31.
Wait. What I will say is there is some validity to the fact that because he didn't play for so many years, he hasn't taken the same punishment.
That's exactly my point.
2-year-olds in the league. However, you don't get better at 32. I'm sorry.
You don't?
No.
Rich Gannon. You want an exception? Do you want an exception?
In a position where it's all mental training.
Looking at the
In a position where it's all mental.
Before people start throwing the Rich Gannons.
No, I wasn't even going to say Rich.
Okay, there are exceptions to the rule, and if he is the exception to the rule, good on you, Geno Smith. However, more often than not, you do not get better physically as you age, unless you are taking something.
Well, spin it.
So pause there for a second. Pause there for a second. And I know you asked me a previous question, Bam. I can't answer that one. We'll go back to it later. But at 32, his body hasn't taken the abuse that another 32-year-old quarterback has taken. What he has done, however, is watched a lot of football. And from the most cerebral position on the field, he could be better based on the fact that he's not a mobile quarterback. He doesn't rely on his feet. And we've seen quarterbacks who couldn't move, Brady, right, that were able to be better their second 10 years than they were their first 10 years in the league because they were more cerebral and understood the game better. The game can slow down. Now, I'm not a Geno Smith fan. I don't expect this from him, but we're speaking hypothetically. Could he be a better quarterback from 32 to 37 than he was 27 to 32, those 5 years? Of course he can. If his body, this is very individual, if his body holds up enough because his mental game is so much better. This is why we see quarterbacks now playing longer and longer, because unless they're mobile, they can be smart. And if they can get rid of the ball quickly, avoid sacks, again, Peyton Manning wasn't a physical specimen. As long as their arm is healthy and their brain works, I don't think it's going to happen, but he can absolutely be better from 32 to 37 than he was 27 to 32. And Tom Brady is a perfect example, because if you go look, and I have them handy, by the way, if you look at his stats, those first 10 years versus his second 10 years, it's actually better.
Yes. However, go ahead. And Tom Brady's the exception. Two, the thing that bothers me with the conversation about Geno in particular, like not like overarching, but specifically with Geno, the same Geno that I saw, like the same traits and deficiencies that he had as a younger quarterback, where he would make like the boneheaded decisions, like the moment he had to deal with anything that's off schedule and he's got pressure in his face. He did a lot of the same stuff this year.
I'm kind of end with that. I'm kind of right to the middle. I'm in the middle with that. I'm in the middle. I agree. I'm in the middle though. I agree, but I'm in the middle. I agree, but I'm in the middle. I agree, but I'm in the middle.
Everyone slow down.
Yeah.
This is like, I'm not saying this just off of me. Just, okay, I watched a couple of the games. We literally had this argument throughout the summer, and we were like, you know what? We've been sitting here talking about it so much. Let's go ahead and pull up the tape. He hasn't changed that much. He is a very good high-end backup who can win you some games. But I do not think he'll ever be more than like possibly a middling quarterback in the NFL. And that's possible.
I agree with you, but if we were just talking again hypothetically based on age, I agree with you. I'm not a fan of Geno Smith. I don't think he's going to have a good year. I think Seahawks fans are going to be very disappointed with him. But
I also don't believe that they're going to be able to go get his replacement in a couple of years. Because if I'm being completely honest, the time to get his replacement was this year.
I said that.
The time to get.
I don't think so. I think there's a few quarterbacks in this draft specifically.
I think we're going to see them have a bad year.
It ain't Bo Nix. I'll tell you that much. It ain't Bo Nix.
No, we're not doing Bo Nix right now.
Shador Sanders could be his backup.
Wait.
J-Rob, don't cook like that now.
Wait.
I give you a hella names that's coming from this draft.
Hey, J-Rob, I kind of like that, though.
Cooking that gumbo
finish and then, Bam, I want to answer your
11-0.
J-Rob, this is why I say their time to go get their quarterback is now. They're not going to be bad enough. Like, they're not going to be bad enough as a team for them to get back as high as they were in the draft. Like the only reason, truthfully, if I remember correctly, the only reason they had a top 5 pick was because the Broncos.
But
the Broncos were terrible this year.
You don't need a top 5 pick to get a starting quarterback. Just look at the best quarterbacks. Most of them weren't top 5 picks.
But can I jump in this real quick, Trey? Let me just jump in this real quick, Trey.
We weren't.
I hear your point. But I'm gonna tell you why I don't actually agree with you when it comes to them getting their replacement. One, I think Geno Smith, at least at 32 to now, I think he got about 3 good years left in him. At least where he could probably play, like Fluent said, continue to grow. I think he'll be better next year. I think he'll be better the year after. My stake in Geno's a little bit higher than most. However, in the terms of drafting the replacement, this draft that's upcoming, this is why I say y'all got to watch college football if y'all don't watch college football. I'm just going to name you all the guys that are going to be eligible for this year's draft, and you tell me if any of these guys don't at least have some sort of potential to be a replacement. Obviously, Caleb and Drake May will be the first 12 the board, so they won't be Seahawks. We'll move them out the way. So let me give you other names now. We're going to go Jaden Daniels at LSU. We're going to go Milton at Tennessee. We'll go he's going to go off of physical traits. He's going to go in one of those first 3 rounds.
Hey, Trey, you were the one telling me that people get.
I told you. I'm gonna say it's the same shit I said about Anthony Richardson. It'll be the same thing I said about Anthony Richardson.
I thought you were saying first round. You said first 3 rounds. Okay, yeah.
No, I'm just saying first 3 rounds. I'm saying these are the quarterbacks that'll be available. We'll go Bo Nix. Some people are high on Bo Nix the most. We'll go Quinn Ewers. You'll have Quinn Ewers. You'll have Sam Howell out of Notre Dame. You'll get Shedeur Sanders.
Sam Hartman.
Sam Hartman. You'll get Shedeur Sanders. You'll get Spencer Rattler if you like, whether you like him or you don't, he'll be available.
What you're saying is they can get his replacement.
DJ Ongolele, whether you like him or you don't, he have a good year at Oregon State. No, I'm saying yes, but I'm just saying these are the guys. These are all going to be guys whose names are going to be thrown into the mix as potential first to third rounders. And then let's not act like the late bloomer that we're gonna get that nobody saw coming.
That no one saw.
Yeah, that comes every single season.
KJ Jefferson.
Right.
And most importantly, G baby, you're missing out, man. Plantains are delicious.
You also, don't sleep on Sam Hartman from
Notre Dame.
He's
at Notre Dame now. He's gonna have a great year. So my point in saying that is right now there's going to be a premium on quarterbacks going into this year. If you're looking for your replacement, I think you can find them this year. Okay. I think the Detroit Lions did a great job of getting Hendon Hooker this year.
Superchats, just before we go to Superchats, Bama, up until maybe the last 4 years, yes, it has been significantly harder for black quarterbacks in the NFL, and there's a laundry list of them who they tried to turn into running backs and wide receivers and DBs, and I remember talking to Coach Jackson about with Terrell Pryor, and he's like, I turned that QB into a 1,000-yard receiving wide receiver, like
Josh Cribbs.
They don't get the opportunities.
Let me ask you something. Why in the Geno shit? Just we always, because I'm not gonna lie, if you really look at both of these seasons, it's literally flip flop. One play bad in the first, play picked it up in the second. One play bad in good in the first, play mid, bad in the second half. Why you keep bringing up the shit from 10 years ago? We talking about some shit in 2023.
Yeah.
You're talking to me again?
Okay. So hear me out. Hear me out.
Who are you talking to, Bam or me?
That's why.
I'm talking to G-Baby, but my fault. I'm talking about G-Baby.
So the reason, and this is Trent, so that you can't say I'm trolling or whatever. This is me being 100% with you, okay? 100%. The reason why it's not even necessarily the fact that it happened 10 years ago. It's the fact that Geno, I feel, in my opinion, he had 0 super low expectations, right? Super low expectations. And he played for I think he played above them for the whole year, but I think he was at such a high to start and then kind of went back to where probably he's going to be. I felt like those expectations, he came from so low. And I think with Trevor Lawrence coming in with Urban Meyer, we didn't expect him to be no top 10 off the rip, but we all expected he'd get there eventually. That's where his expectations are. And the fact that he's in year 2, we finally seen him get to those expectations. I'm gonna get to you. When we finally seen him get to those expectations, the reason why it's different for me is because Trevor Lawrence, that upside, even though you can laugh at me all you want, the fact that I believe he can be a solidified top 5 quarterback, like on a regular, I don't believe Geno has that potential at all. So even though Geno, after the 10 years, he had a great season and a great coach and all that.
Most accurate quarterback in the league this year.
So let me ask you something, though. Let me ask you
I'm going to keep saying that.
Because I can say the upside is basically potential, right?
Yes.
And potential shit you ain't done yet, right?
Yes.
I'm asking. This is for shit for right now. We're not talking about, because I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these Trevor Lawrence talk, it's a lot of projecting. We're talking about right now.
Right now, it's top 10.
Hey, quick question. Hey, hold on. Before y'all get into
what other quarterback overcame a 24-point lead?
Before you ask that, all right, we gonna go right here. Brian Legree. Tom Brady needs his own building. That's factuals. Drink more water. You can't use the winning to compare QBs because every QB are in different situations. Some QBs play with great defenses. Some have their special teams lose games. Some have bad OLs and running game. I mean,
Patrick Mahomes played with the most rookies this year. That's all I'm going to say.
That's true, but at the end of the day, the GOAT said this, man. Your situation is your situation, and it's up to you to decode and figure out how to overcome it. And that's what the GOAT said. Nick Dawson said amongst us after stream.
Nah, not tonight. I've been playing.
I'm playing tonight. So if you want to be, I'm playing tonight. I may
play that.
MC Robinson. Hey, boy, we love.
I'm dead playing tonight.
You've always been a faithful. That college football starting back up with the press box. Y'all probably gonna like that show here coming up soon. But we'll talk about NFL and college football. But Bama, what's the QB situation in Alabama? Is it Milton or is it the guy who transferred from Notre Dame? How do you feel about Nick Saban possibly retiring soon? Nick Saban, man, since he been there, bro, he raised the standard to what Alabama used to be. We had Don Shula's son, Mike Shula. We used to always pray for at least 7 bowl eligible seasons. Now, as Alabama fans, we constantly want to go to the national championship or bust. So that should let you know what Nick Saban did throughout his career. He don't have to win no more from here on out, even though we want him to. But for as with Milton and the quarterback from Notre Dame, of course, you know, the coach that came over from Notre Dame, of course, he probably will want a guy from Notre Dame who knows the system to keep that system running. They'll just make his play calling job a lot easier. But if we just go be honest, man, meal ticket, bro, that boy a unit, 6'2", 220 pounds, running 4.340. He could throw the ball a mile. He could run. Man, listen.
Oh, y'all
we gotta get this guy to come along. I remember I was hard on him, but I had to remember, man, that was an 18-year-old baby, man. I coach a lot of young guys. So after me training a lot of these young guys, I had a newfound look on how I view guys 18 and 19 and stuff. So I get them a little bit more leeway than I once used to, because at the end of the day, they still babies. But me, myself, personally, I love Milroe, bro. That boy fast, do everything. But at the same time, if I'm the OC coming from Notre Dame, I want somebody that I could call play page 357 with. You see what I'm saying? Where he would have to coach Jalen, but me, myself, personally, I go off of talent, not comfortability. That's what you're OC for.
Yeah, y'all still gonna lose to LSU in the division. So
I mean, we can bet some of that. You only do the bets and then you win, and you don't never want to bet back.
All right, let's bet it back. We can bet back. We can bet LSU. We can bet LSU, Alabama.
My bad for missing some of these super chats. But I didn't want to just keep bombarding him with questions.
Facts.
Vamp, what was it like to play for one team for your entire career?
We asked that.
We did ask that?
Yeah, we asked that.
Okay, yeah. Michigan going to be 15-0.
Not
cap. Yeah, cap.
Not this year.
Hey, Luke,
not losing to my Buckeyes.
Hey, Luke, you one of the greats of all time, but who are your favorite players of all time? My bad.
He already told us that.
Michael Saint.
He told us already.
Jerry Springer presents Player's Choice.
If y'all show $100 dono, I'll show my titties on camera.
Eagles Nation,
G-Baby
and Bama look like they put red kidney beans in all their food. Dominican looking like.
Listen here, Poppy. Listen here, Poppy. I'm Dominican. I know black.
He's back. He's back.
Hey, Eagles Nation is the same guy who, when the Eagles lost the Super Bowl and he was talking all that stuff to us,
he had to work
for
months. Let's stay on top real quick. So let me go back to this because I really want to.
Okay, so yeah. Going back to that, basically, yes, potential is something you haven't done yet.
Yeah, let's.
But as of right now,
that's the question. I put some again. That's right. You're right. Potential is shit you ain't done yet. But all I'm saying is, in a ranking right now, we're not projecting. I feel like you shit on Geno so much, but Trevor Lawrence just don't get the. He don't get.
But you got to understand, I shit on Geno.
Yo, can I just wait? It's important. This is important. No, this is important. This is important. A professional athlete that I know, I will not say names, sent me a text message because they obviously do not want to be disclosed. But send me this message because I'm not gonna say he or she. They are watching the show right now. And they say, it's crazy that these people think winning is so easy, and it's annoying to me. It's hard to win in professional sports, which is why those who can consistently do it stand above the rest. But the anomalies are just anomalies. I wonder who the anomalies are. He said, but the anomalies are just the anomalies. We just think there are a ton of people who have just flat out won all the time. Nope. There's more athletes that have played well and lost than there are that played well and won.
Okay, so
Hey,
I'm gonna address two things at the same time. I'm gonna address two things at the same time.
I'm not gonna lie. No, G-Baby, stop.
Just let him get it off. Just let that person have their little moment. They wanted to talk to us. They phoned in the player's choice. Just know people watching. That's all we got to say. Just know people watching.
Well, I'm a comment. You know why it's harder to win? Because there's too many layers, and there's too many things responsible rather than just one person. That's why it's so hard.
Hey, listen. This is somebody who's playing at the pro level right now every day, man.
But the thing is, this is why I love. This is why I love debates, though, because even people at the pro level, even people at the not any level, it's always going to be a difference in opinion. And
exactly. We just had Luke just say Gwen like QB stat. So
I low key think we changed his mind though. He got real quiet after the points was.
Bro, he texted me.
That nigga made me so mad. I'll stalemate the shit out that nigga right now.
He just didn't care. He just didn't care to argue.
I was like, Luke, you so bro. I should have told
you get your neck folded playing with that man.
Bama will be in damn hospital, my boy.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I bought that thump, but I broke 4 niggas' collarbones, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, I really be.
Wait, can I ask y'all a quick question that I've been curious about, and I wanted to just ask some people because obviously it came out that Richard Sherman. Actually, I wonder what you think about this really too. Richard Sherman is obviously going to be Skip Bayless's new co-host on
what?
Yeah, it's Richard Sherman. It's going to be Richard Sherman.
You know, J-Rob, I don't fuck with that
I never thought
shit like that. I really feel like that's like some shit to keep that show relevant. You know what I'm saying? Because Shannon, Uncle Shay really made that. He took over.
He bought the juice. He bought the juice.
You know what I'm saying? And they started backpedaling when he said, once he found that YouTube shit be booming, Shay's Club, once he saw that, he was like, bro, I ain't even got to do this
Club Shay Shay.
Club Shay Shay.
They had to figure out how to keep this show relevant, and what more than get a nigga like Richard Sherman, you feel me? He was publicly had hate for Skip, so it's like it's gonna give people something to talk about. I can't wait to watch Skip and Richard now. Because
Skip and Richard.
You remember when Richard came up on there? He was like, address me as
in my 20s.
I'm better.
Yeah, you know, Trey, you remember that?
Better at life.
I'm better at life than you.
Yeah. And that's what people go remember. That's what people remember. Like
people say that to this day because of that video, bro. Right. Because of that video, people say that to this day. I'm better at life.
So as a consumer, I know shit. When I saw it, I was like, shit, I can't wait to watch First Take. You feel me?
Right.
I mean, FS1, just because I want to see what that first episode gonna be like, because I remember their initial relationship was, hey, bro, you sorry at life. Like, that's crazy to tell somebody he's sorry.
Now, the worst part about it, too, do you remember when he said it? Crazy. When he said it, Stephen A. Smith's face, when he closed his eyes, he just go. He just closed his eyes like this, like.
He didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I want to know what to say. Either I've been up there like, oh, why you got to say that?
Ooh, wee. Yeah,
but I think that was crazy. I was not expecting that. I ain't gonna lie. That caught me off guard. Way off.
Honestly, we need Richard Sherman on this show, and I want to like ask him like, what was going through your head when Trent Williams punched the shit out you? Like when he said, "What you gonna do?" And that nigga said, "Punch you in your motherfucking face." and then actually did it. That was like crazy, right?
I know that shit hurt for real because Trent
I
Williams.
know it
Trent
did.
Williams.
He was laughing. He was like, you laughing like nigga? I know that shit. Steve.
Yeah, I'm saying Trent Williams is one of the 10 best football players on the planet right now. He is on the planet. And argue with your mama on that one.
Argue with your mama because
you know what we need to do, Dub? We need to do our own top 100. This year's top 100.
Every episode we do 10. Every episode we do 10.
Yeah, because
it's just like the top 100.
Yeah, because this year's top 100 was but this year specifically though, trash.
Criminal.
I love Justin Fields.
That being higher than Lamar.
Yeah.
That.
Wait,
He was too high. He was too high.
Hey, players know, man. Just like your text, players know. Hey, G baby, let me ask you a question. I got a Saints question for you. How you feel about Derek Carr becoming the first quarterback this season to lose to 31 different teams? That makes you proud? Are you proud of that?
Wait.
31 teams. You like that?
He's the only quarterback in NFL.
He's going to be the first quarterback to lose to 31 different teams.
He's going to be. He will be the 31st.
Loss. The Panthers. Once he loses to the Panthers.
Once he gets hit with that Bryce Young dumper.
I mean, look, Derek Carr is here for now. Derek Carr is not our long-term, decade-long future. He is here for now, and I am mildly optimistic about what the Saints can do. Imagine the same way. And if we don't win the division, I'm going to say it again. If we don't win the division, you know where you can send it by that.
Fellas, I guess next week we could pop off the next 100 list.
So is everybody getting a pick? And we can't argue
crazy. We
got to do it. And I think we got to do it together, though. I think we got to really agree on these picks. We have to all consensus to pick.
So I'll say this. Throughout the week from today, everybody up here, from today all the way to Wednesday in the chat, we need to come up with a general.
And every pick has to be agreed upon. It literally is like a jury. We have to agree on every pick.
And J-Rob,
everyone.
I know y'all little dickheads.
This one's gonna be a grunt. That's why I say we gotta. And that's why I say we got, bro. That's why I say we gotta set it up. We gotta set it up for 2-3 shows where we bring it up. We may have to do 25 an episode. We might do 25 an episode because realistically, we gotta agree, bro.
How we argue?
Because realistically, we gotta agree, bro. We gotta agree
with one. Patrick
Number one is Patrick Mahomes. I think we all can agree with that.
That's a bean.
2.
Yeah, Joe Burrow.
Trent
No.
All right, Devontae Adams.
How I view it.
He is not the second best player.
So hear me out.
Hear
me out. Honestly, when it comes to great quarterbacks, I put great pass rushers up there with them because those are the only guys that possibly could neutralize great quarterbacks.
Right.
So I put pass rushers up there with them. So Trent Williams is so unique. Trent Williams is so unique to where he can block Michael Parsons and Aaron Donald
might be top
on
10.
a consistent basis. So those guys win they battles on a consistent basis. The fact that Trent Williams can block those guys on a consistent basis, I have to put him very high on my list, bro. I'm sorry.
Osu going to have to wait till 24. OSU.
Yeah, Ohio State gonna do this. Now,
all right, y'all boys. I'm finna go hoop. I love y'all. I'm out, y'all. I'm out.
All
right, go ahead, J-Rob. All right, Binky Poo.
Don't do that. Because Binky is somebody else's name, and J-Rob, I'll grab your little wrist, nigga.
Oh my God.
Chat, I got Napoleon complex, so
it's so bad.
It's really bad. It's bad.
Look, you gotta see it in person. It's really bad.
Bro, you'll be walking.
He did that to me. I was confused.
Your dad be walking, and out of nowhere, it's no warning. Bama, I ain't gonna lie, he's a buff midget. Like he really strong as hell, like strong hamster. So he really grabbed you, and he don't let go. He got like vice grips.
I was looking at him.
So he really grabbed you, and he's like, yo, and the thing is, he got your shit, and it got you so hard where your shit not even closing. I'm just like,
bro, he grabbed my wrist. I'm looking at him. I'm like, I said, why you grabbing my wrist? He's just looking me straight in my face.
Yeah, he don't say nothing about it. Yo,
like,
don't say nothing.
I'm like, bro, why are you grabbing this for? He's like, cuz. I said, all right, let's see if I can break out. He was like, nah. I was like, why? Let's do it. I used to wrestle, so I know how to break the grip easily. I was like, let's fucking do it.
Yo, I'm a weirdo, bro. I love y'all, bro. I cannot wait.
You just gotta flip.
Chat, I cannot wait till y'all see the videos from PC Weekend, bro.
Dub, Mars, Chill, Haley, bro, J-Rob, LaRon, Bob, bro, like, dog, I love y'all boys to death, like, and
that
girls,
shit was funny,
of course, but that possibly in my little 5'5" life, that was the most fun I ever had in my little life. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, bro. My little ass life, bro. That was.
It was a good weekend. It was a good weekend.
I can't wait. There's some moments. There's some moments.
I can't wait till I meet Trent, little blockhead ass. So
there's some crazy moments from that. Bro. That weekend had too many crazy moments, bro.
Trent, because you've been asking for it, nigga. I love you to death, bro. Like I
never needed that 101 win, bro. I swear he needed it. You needed that.
No, I was playing with my food, Doug. I be trying to tell you, bro. I don't play with my food, bro.
You needed
really?
That win,
I cannot wait till y'all see me on the court. I can't wait till y'all see me on the court.
He won by
two. Bama won. How come we only see the clip of you scoring on him?
Because that
was one of the best. That's probably the best
out there. That bucket was crazy. That bucket was crazy.
Chad, I ain't gonna lie. The reason why Dub cooked me like that. Okay, so when you see Dub, right, we crack the jokes, and I'm a nigga that be cracking jokes. So of course it's like he like unorthodox with how he hoop, but he's actually athletic. So
yeah, you can play. Yeah, he can play.
It's weird. Like he can't play basketball, but he can play if that makes sense. Because
you
athletic. So when it comes to like
step and then
fake,
go,
when it comes to fakes and shit like that, like you kind of gotta really check it. You know what I'm saying? Like so, it's like he did some shit. He faked that shit. That shit fucked my head up. I'm like, I didn't expect him to like fake and then come under and then. Because like I said, bro, like when you see Dub, like I'm dead ass, bro. Like when you see Dub, it's like. He play basketball, but he don't. It's hard to explain because he can play. He can play. He's just not like fully skilled to where
I never went organized. I know how to play. Yeah.
For his like athletic moves, like pump fakes and shit, he gonna.
He can play. Yeah, he can play. He can shoot a little bit too. He can shoot a little bit.
Like
I just assume he won from that clip because
he did some quick. It fucked my.
Dub is pretty much Mike Bibby for real. He's Mike Bibby.
And then when I had went up. Like Dub, he was tired, so I was like, oh, I could slack off with him because he tired. But I ain't gonna lie, that little fucker kept fighting, bro. I'm like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, I'm a weird dude. I think I got it from wrestling. I think I got it from wrestling. Like when I'm tired, I start, especially when I get dog tired. It's like a you. Like I'll get tired and I'll play bad. But once I get wind. Then I get my second win, and once I get my second win, it's like, all right, I'm just on autopilot at that point. So I got tired immediately when we was playing, so that's why I was so bad in the beginning. But then once I caught my second win, I was like, all right, I'm in rhythm, I'm in stride.
You are also probably hyped up though, because you wanted to win, right? Because you knew they were going to talk about it.
I'm not gonna. No, Bama needed that win because Bama needed that win. I'm not gonna lie, but I was dehydrated because I was drinking the whole weekend.
That's why I was
dehydrated.
I don't know. Yeah, it was tough, but y'all will see some 5v5 content, bro. Like
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for the chat.
I cannot wait till we move to Seattle. Chat, I'm quitting my job and moving to Seattle, bro. This shit is finna be extravagant, bro. Like we finna turn up, bro. I'm finna take HGH and I'm finna fucking train every fucking day on camera, bro. And fucking go on dates with fat ass aunties and shit. And y'all boys can see this shit and see my stale face.
Okay.
Now, literally, after those runs,
careful. I hear it's tricky up there.
Bama, after those,
Bama,
I mean, Fluid. After them runs, I'm not gonna lie, my quads. I'm not gonna lie. What's that muscle by your kneecap? What's that called?
That's quad.
Quad above.
My quads kept locking up. I'm like, fuck, I don't feel like we're even walking, bro. It was so bad, bro. So I got to get back in shape.
We got it. Hey, Dub, we're gonna make some content. Me and you in the gym, little midgets in the gym.
Hey, bro, listen,
mighty mouses.
I'm a
mighty mouse.
And when we in Seattle, I'm gonna talk to Bob. I'm about to be like, yo, let me get in the lab with you, coach me up and shit. Then we can polish up my game.
You can practice with. Hey, so you train with Bob. I'm gonna train with Ron, and we do a rematch. I've been telling JD about that. I train with Ron because both of them basketball.
I'm not gonna lie. If I really actually took basketball serious, I'm not gonna lie. I could really be tough. Like if I'm not gonna lie, Bama, when I get in the lab, I don't think you're beating me at all.
I don't know. Like, not even a little bit. I'll keep it real with you, Doug.
What was the score?
I'm not a one-on-one player. 11-9.
Oh, 11-9.
I'm not a one-on-one player. I'm 5v5 because I can pass the ball left and right hand, and I like shooting threes. So like 5v5 fits my game more
The second game, you convinced me on your shot. I'm not gonna hold you, especially when you start hitting. I was like, oh, he hitting these bitches.
Yeah,
I gotta step up. I'm like, oh fuck. But hey, y'all be easy. Like the video, subscribe.
I'm playing Among Us on my channel. Come through.
We had Luke Kuechly up here. Appreciate. Hold on. We had Luke Kuechly up here. Appreciate Trey and Trent for that connect, man. Always remember that, bro. But there's more to come. There's more content to come, even for Gridiron. So stay ready. It's gonna be nuclear, bro.
Stop blazing in 2023.
Peace.
Now you're more fluent.